Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Seattle Seahawks versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
It has been raining for 2 days in Kansas City. The temperature will be in the upper 60s. And here are the standings in the AFC West with 4 teams tied for first place, including the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones. This is a crossroads game for both teams. They both lost last week, and in fact, they were both embarrassed. So how they play today could well set the tone for the rest of the season. And joining me on the telecast, Sam Rutigliano. Sam, tell me about the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, David Craig is going to provide the Air Force with Steve Largent and certainly the deep threat of Darryl Turner. But the ground attack has got to be the key for Seattle. They have got to get Kurt Warner back into the flow of their offense to take the pressure off David Craig and put the pressure on the Kansas City defense.
And we have a special treat for you today, because also joining us on the telecast, as he will for quite a few ball games this season, the famous Dr. Z, Paul Zimmerman, the pro football writer for Sports Illustrated. Tell me about Kansas City, Paul.
Charlie, you know I love to watch offensive line play. And I think it's crucial that Kansas City's tackles, Matt Herkenhoff and David Lutz, do a job on Jacob Green and Jeff Bryant, who are two very destructive fellows. They practically single-handedly tore up the Raiders in the playoff game last year. And if they put that much pressure on Bill Kenny and he doesn't have time to throw, Kansas City's in big trouble. Kenny has to get off winging, he has to get off on top, and then they have a good chance.
And here is the bundle-up Chuck Knox, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Again, their record is 2-1. The Kansas City Chiefs, under John Makovic, their record is also 2-1. San Diego and Denver, they are 2-1. Only the Raiders in last place in the West, they are 1-2. Chiefs won the toss. They'll receive. Norm Johnson will be kicking off for the Seattle Seahawks, with Jeff Smith on the near side as one of the deep backs, number 42, and on the right side, top of the screen, Anthony Hancock, number 82. And the rain continues to fall. The forecast, interestingly enough, was 50% chance this afternoon. It's supposed to get worse tonight. It goes to 70. I don't know what that means. Here we go. Again, excellent hang time on the kickoff, taken by Anthony Hancock about 4 yards deep in the end zone. He'll down it, and Kansas City will go to work on their own 20-yard line. First down, Bill Kenny, of course, the quarterback, with Herman Hurd, the running back. Fullback is the rookie Bruce King. Stephon Page at one wide receiver, Henry Marshall the other, Walt Arnold the tight end. Carlos Carson will not be playing today for Kansas City. Offensive line, Matt Herkenhoff, Brad Buddy out of USC. His dad, of course, a member of the Kansas City Hall of Fame, Bob Rush, the rookie Bob Olderman, and Dave Lutz at right tackle. Page showing motion, a little play action. Kenny opens up throwing, and it is incomplete. Going to Bruce King, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. Kenny easily picked him up, and it'll be second down and 10. Let's look at the defense of the Seattle Seahawks, and it is a good one. We'll start with a standard front three. Of course, they'll also show a four-man front, and they'll show all kinds of numbers in the secondary, but basically Jacob Green, Joe Nash, and Jeff Bryant. Green and Bryant, number 1 draft choices. Nash, of course, in the Pro Bowl. They're the linebackers. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Second down and 10. The ball at the 20-yard line. Bruce King in motion. A little jumping in the line. The give is to Herman Hurd. A flag was dropped on the far side. A pickup of about 3 on the play. So as the officials sort out the flag, let's go back to the Seattle Seahawks defense. You saw the front three. The defensive backs are Terry Taylor, Dave Brown, Kenny Easley, and John Harris. We kind of slid by the 4 linebackers, Bruce Schultz, Sheldon Robinson, Keith Butler, and Michael Jackson. The penalty against the Seattle Seahawks. The ball placed at the 25-yard line. It's second down and 5. So now we have set this particular cast of characters, and we'll get back to the ball game. Second down and 5. The rain continuing to fall, the temperature dropping, and an overshift to the left side. And here's Herman Hurd. short of the first down. Gain of 4, 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1, and Fred Young, the special teams Pro Bowler, very active as an inside linebacker this year, was there to make the stop.
Charlie, I think you're seeing a tendency right away. They're running on 2nd and long and 3rd and medium range, 5 yards. I think they're trying to keep that Seattle nickel defense off the field, establish quickly that they're going to run on them in long yardage.
Did you expect that?
No, I didn't, but they don't tell us everything.
3rd down and 1. Seattle says we have come up with a football or we have stopped them, because there was action exactly with the snap. The bobble on the exchange by Kansas City, and it will be 4th down.
Bob Rush snapped the ball. He looked like he was offside. Number 53, Bob Rush, looked like he was offside.
He snapped and moved out. He may have gone on a different snap count. Jim Arnold will be kicking. Danny Green set for the return. Good kick. In the rain of beauty, it's bobbled. 11-yard line. It is fumbled. A scramble for it inside the 5. Chiefs say they got it. Let's see.
Is to catch the ball. He bobbles the ball now. Just fall on it. Don't get a turnover. Last week, the same thing happened in the LA game, and now we're seeing Seattle do exactly what they did to other people. They're now giving the ball away.
Bruce King, number 46, recovered the fumble. The punt, by the way, 58 yards. 4-yard line. 1st down, goal to go. A yard to the 3, 2nd down, goal to go. So the Seattle Seahawks ball. Last year they lived with a turnover. It has cost them last week and now at the opening moments of this game.
I don't think they expected Arnold with the wind against him to get off a punt like that. He hung at 4.3 seconds. That's a clutch punt for him, and he's not that great a punter on reputation. It caught him by surprise.
58 yards in the rain. Well, that is a great
with
punt.
A great hang time.
With a great hang time. You're right. 2nd down and goal to go. No score in the ball game. Herman Hurd, touchdown, Kansas City.
Let's watch Bruce King, number 46, the lead blocker. 44 has good vision, turns up inside. He follows 46 right into the end zone. I think it's very important for Kansas City, particularly after last week, to get that ball in when they get inside the 5-yard line.
So Bruce King, who recovered the fumble for the Chiefs, key block on the touchdown by Herman Hurd. Extra point is up. It is good. And Kansas City is out in front. The score, the Chiefs 7, the Seahawks nothing. 12:28 left to go, 1st quarter. In the rain, this is Charlie Jones, Sam Rutigliano, and Paul Zimmerman. And Kansas City out in front of the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 7-0. 12 minutes, 28 seconds. That is the time remaining. 1st quarter here at Arrowhead Stadium. Nick Lowry will be kicking off for Kansas City. The deep receivers, the return men are number 43, Randall Morris, and number 84, Danny Green. This is Randall Morris at the 13, to the 20, the 25, and he returns to the 29-yard line. And guess who makes the tackle? Number 46, Bruce King. Let's go back to the touchdown. Bruce King already recovered the fumble, was the lead blocker here for Herman Hurd. Sam.
Bruce King right now, all Herman Hurd has to do is follow 46, and they're both going to score the touchdown. Anytime you get involved in a short yardage situation, it's important for 44, Herman Hurd right there in the middle of your screen, to follow the lead blocker.
Seattle from their own 29-yard line. First opportunity on offense. They trail 7-0. And And to give as expected to Kurt Warner. Warner has 5 yards to the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Calvin Daniels makes the tackle. Offensively, we'll just set the Seahawks for you. Dave Craig is the quarterback. Kurt Warner, David Hughes, the running back. Steve Largent and Darrell Turner, the wide receivers. Charlie Young, the tight end. That offensive line is Ron Essig, Edwin Bailey, Blair Bush, Robert Pratt, and Bob Kreider. 2nd down and 5. Having a little problem with our graphic machine, but we'll get that operated. Here's Largent moving in motion. David Hughes is dropped. Kim Jolly, number 52. Let me tell you something about Ken Jolly. He's the linebacker that they try to hide. They think he may be the weakest one. He played his collegiate ball at Mid-America Nazarene, which is in Olathe. And he says after an NFL game, everybody goes around and they talk to the players from the other team that they played either with or against in college. He said, I didn't play with or against anybody else in the NFL. I don't have anybody to talk to.
Well, if he keeps making plays like that, he's going to have a lot of fans on the other side.
3rd down 9, loss of 4 on the play from the shotgun. Here's Dave Craig. Pass is complete. Byron Franklin picks up the 1st down. Let's see if they'll mark it for it. It's right at the 39-yard line. May have to take a measurement. No. 1st down. Lloyd Burris was there for the defense. Let me set the basic defense for you quickly. It's Art Still, Bill Moss, Mike Bell, the front 3, with Calvin Daniels, Scott Radisek, Gary Spaney, and Kim Jolly. The 4 defensive backs, Albert Lewis, Lloyd Burris, Deron Cherry, and Kevin Ross.
Our Chiron's down here, so we're just going to go with scores verbally here for a while. We'll try to get them up.
1st down, Seattle's ball, their own 40-yard line. Kansas City out in front 7-0. Largent, who celebrated his 31st birthday yesterday, is in motion. Here's Kurt Warner. Warner from the 40 to the 45, 2nd down 5.
Charlie, no team takes as wide splits on their offensive line as Seattle. And the thing that Kansas City has to worry about is being faked into those gaps, being suckered in and then being steered, because this is a hand-blocking team, a finesse team that likes to steer you with their hands. And if they don't stay at home, if they go into those gaps, they're going to get pushed around like they did just then. They don't get blown off the line, they get finessed.
Kurt Warner has an opportunity to see a lot more.
2nd down and 5. Here's Kurt Warner, and he is dropped by Art Still. Art Still, the number 1 draft choice, number 67, defensive left end. And we have Art Still isolated.
That's Art Still, number 67, is in a stunt. He comes back to the outside, and here he makes the play on number 28. Now, what Kansas City has done in 2 plays is put them into the shotgun formation and taken pressure off their defense.
3rd down and 8.
They have 3 wides on the left side now.
Largent showing motion on the left side. It's crowded over there. Craig, of course, looks left, throws Largent. Caught it, dropped it, they'll rule it incomplete. It was scooped up. I believe, was that Kevin Ross? No.
Albert Lewis. Charlie, what you'll see is Albert Lewis is designated as the man to cover the most dangerous receiver. Albert Lewis will always be on Steve Largent.
That looks like Times Square on New Year's Eve, and Albert Lewis finally finds him, number 29 on the top of your screen. He throws a completion, and you're not going to see this happen very often. As a matter of fact, that looks like a catch.
Largent is banged up, Sam. He's coming into the game hurt.
So it's 4th down and 8. The ball was picked up by Otis McKinney, but of course it was ruled an incomplete pass. Here's the punt by Colquitt. Garcia Lane is the deep back, and Eric Lane, no relation, chases it down on the special teams for the Seattle Seahawks. A punt of 44 yards for Jimmy Colquitt. We've got a score in. New England 3, the Raiders nothing. Tony Franklin, a 47-yard field goal in that game, and here the Chiefs lead Seattle 7-0. The rain continues to fall at Arrowhead Stadium, and the temperature is dropping. We thought it was going to reach the high 60s. It's not going to quite make it. In fact, it may not get out of the low 50s or the high 40s. we're going to have a change of football. They'll change, of course, after every down. They'll try to keep the ball dry. The footing here is very good on this artificial surface. Just depends if the rain continues like this. It's a heavy drizzle. It'll be okay. And here is Bruce Key. 5 yards to the 18th, 2nd and 5. Fred Young makes the tackle. Now let's join Bob Costas.
Charlie, with the Patriots in front of the Raiders 3-0, Tony Eason's pass is picked off by Lester Hayes. Nothing but clear sailing into the end zone, 27-yard touchdown. Ahmad Rashad told us earlier today that the Patriots planned to test Hayes. Well, they found out what happens when you do.
And here at Arrowhead, it's Kansas City 7, Seattle nothing. Bruce King set up the touchdown. The toss here is to Herman Hurd. As Danny Green bobbled the punt, King recovered the fumble. Herman Hurd then went in for the touchdown. Jeff Bryan making the stop here for the Seattle Seahawks. Sam?
Charlie, John Makovic said yesterday that he was going to pass the ball even if Hurricane Gloria came to Kansas City, but it looks like now he's got a change of plans. He's trying to run the ball to take a little pressure off their quarterback, Bill Kenny.
3rd down and 3. The Seahawks bring some extra men in the secondary. So they look for Bill Kenny to throw, and he will. He sends 4 on the pattern, far side. It is caught. Stephon Page underthrown. Dave Brown at the coverage. It was underthrown. He came back on it. Paul.
I think just to get back to that running game for a second, what you're seeing on this field is they're having success running inside. They're getting stuffed when they're trying to go outside. I think they're going to start cutting back and go inside and then set up that pass like this one.
Well, if you watch Bill Kenny here, he's going to throw the ball up. What Dave Brown didn't do, he didn't see the quarterback and the receiver. He overruns the ball, and Stephon Page does an outstanding job of concentrating on the football.
And a pickup of 24 yards. First down at the 44-yard line. Kansas City in their own territory. And Page is in motion. Here's Kenny to throw. Goes back to the far side. It is there. This time it is Henry Marshall. Back-to-back first down.
That's when the Seahawks can be had. They gave them time. They threw underneath the zone.
And Dave Brown, again, the defender that they're going at.
It was a double zone. He caught him in the
Henry
middle.
Marshall releasing off the line of scrimmage. Now watch him push Dave Brown, 22, up the field. He pushes him off, then he sits down nicely. And the reason that was successful, as we look at Kenny, is that Henry Marshall now pushed 22 off, and he makes a nice catch to the outside. And of course, Bill Kenny right now is getting the time that Paul talked about.
A gain of 21 yards on the play. So in the last 2 plays, Kansas City offense has picked up 45 yards. And here's Herman Hurd. And this time he is met by Fred Young right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Seattle is worried about the inside running. That's why Fred Young is in there. He's their great special teamer, their goal line linebacker, and I think they know that it's tough to run outside, but both teams are having success inside, so they have Fred Young in there to stuff it, which he just did.
6 minutes, 37 seconds and counting, time remaining. We're in the first quarter. Kansas City out in front of the Seahawks, 7-0. Did not fool nose tackle Joe Nash. Has a yard. That's it.
It's tough to run.
There's a lot of angles involved in this game, but the 2 on the base of this triangle, Henry Marshall and Walt Arnold, are going to be big factors for the apex of the triangle, Bill Kenny. And Henry Marshall is already involved, and I think you'll see Walt Arnold get involved as we go on with this football game.
Walt Arnold, number 87, is the starting tight end. Maybe the biggest surprise offensively for Kansas City. Is really having a good year. 3rd down and 9. 6 in the secondary for the Seahawks, and Kenny's in the shotgun. Goes deep. Double coverage. It's caught. Stephon Page. Or Anthony Hancock.
No, it's Page.
I think it's Stephon Page.
It is.
He got away with one that time. That's a pass that never should have been thrown. They had him bracketed They had the coverage, and he went up high and got it.
They're in a shotgun formation. Bill Kenny has good time. He throws it. He's being double covered by number 44, John Harris. And there's the two double coverage right there. 45, Kenny Easley. And he makes a great catch. And the reason he made it is because he had tremendous concentration on the football. But Paul is right. That ball should have been intercepted in the end zone.
Extra point is good, and Kansas City moves on top by a score of 14-0. 5:28 left to go. We're in the first quarter. Nick Lowry kicking off for Kansas City. High but very short. Randall Morris takes it at the 15, to the 20, 25, and cut down at the 26-yard line by Otis McKinney. Now let's go back to that touchdown pass from Bill Kenny to Stephon Pace.
There's Kenny Easley. He's in the back of the end zone, and 41, Eugene Robinson. That receiver was bracketed by two defensive backs, and very frankly, Kenny threw into the teeth of the coverage. It should have been intercepted.
We didn't see it earlier, but Easley went for the man. And, you know, there's something that forcing all these turnovers, sometimes they lose a little sight of the ball. And he went for the man, and Robinson went for the ball, and it wasn't enough.
Seahawks from their own 26-yard line now down 14-0. They wanted to run Kurt Warner. Now they may have to go to the air and start playing catch-up right now. They'll stay with Kurt Warner. They'll lose a yard to the 25. Kevin Ross moved up from defensive cornerback. Let's check the scoreboard right now. The Raiders out in front of New England 7-3. Lester Hayes, 27-yard interception. Washington out in front of Chicago 7-0. John Riggins scoring there. In Tampa Bay over Detroit by a score of 3-0. Paul?
Two great plays in a row that Jolly has made. He stuffed that play. He forced it. They're trying to run at him, but I think they're going to give it up for plays like this.
Jolly, the outside linebacker, number 52. Craig to throw. Pulled down, tight end Charlie Young. Short of the first down by a couple of yards. It'll be around the 34-yard line. Scott Radisek and Calvin Daniels with the tackle.
They'll give him those. I don't think the Seahawks are going to beat him with Charlie Young.
I think, however, though, Paul, there's Charlie Young. That'll take a lot of pressure off the double coverage on the outside of Darrell Turner and Steve Largent, and Charlie Young can be a factor to take that pressure off David Craig.
Now Kansas City has 5 down linemen. Bob Ham comes in and Pete Koch comes in. 3rd down and 2. They look for the run inside. That means they look for Kurt Warner. And he comes outside. No, that's David Hughes. And Hughes leans and stretches and should pick up the first down at the 37-yard line. Kevin Ross makes the tackle.
See who the lead blocker was on that one, Charlie?
Yes.
Kurt Warner. Dandy block.
First quarter score, Minnesota 7, Buffalo 0.
This is a cross-up on a pitch to David Hughes. I guess they looked at the computer, and there's Kurt Warner, number 28, making the play. And David Hughes picks up a very key first down for Seattle.
And Edwin Bailey, of course, the pulling guard out in front. First down, Seahawks, their own 37-yard line. Kansas City leads 14-0. Largent reverses his motion. Craig drops it off to Kurt Warner out of the backfield, and he will lose a couple of yards to the 35. It'll be 2nd down 12. Calvin Daniels was there.
The interesting thing to me on that is how quickly Albert Lewis came off his coverage on Largent and came up. It looks like they really have that play scouted, and they're telling Lewis, just get off your coverage. I wouldn't be surprised if he pumps one and then goes deep to Largent on that.
2nd down and 12, and the Chiefs bring in 3 extra men in the secondary. They look for Dave Craig to throw.
This is the Chiefs game right now. They got the percentages because they have all those defensive backs in the game.
Here's Kurt Warner. Warner looks for a hole, finds a little one, scoots through to the 45-yard line, a gain of 10. It'll still be 3rd down and a couple as Sherman Cocroft makes the tackle. Sam, let's take a look at it from the end zone.
It's obvious Chuck Knox is not going to change the game plan. It's Kurt Warner. Now watch him make the break back to the outside. He sees the blocks. He stumbles. He cuts back to his left. And this is vintage Kurt Warner. He picked up about 6 to 8 extra yards just on his balance and his darting and his vision.
Warner rushing 5 times, 18 yards. 3rd down and 2. Craig to throw on 3rd and 2, drops it off to Warner. And and he is stopped. No gain. Gary Spaney, Kevin Ross for Kansas City. It'll be 4th down and 2, and that means that Colquitt will be punting.
This isn't the kind of field that's going to work on. You know, you have to get out there quickly. The defensive guys have a better angle on that. I think they might be giving up those swing passes on this kind of a slippery field unless it stops raining.
Dave Craig, the quarterback of the Seahawks, 4th down, and that means that Jimmy Colquitt with a 41.7-yard average coming into the game, kicking to Garcia Lane. Good kick. Garcia Lane takes it at the 14. Looks for a block. Has one. Returns to the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt. 16 yards on the return. Walt Arnold with a key block on the return for Kansas City. City's ball on their own 30-yard line, 1st down. Kinney looks for the screen. It's there. Herman Hurd. Diagnosed by the Seattle Seahawks. Keith Butler coming in to make the tackle, and now let's go to Bob Costas for an update.
Charlie, the Pats have a 10-7 lead on the Raiders. Tony Eason finds Irving Fryer. It's a 40-yard touchdown, after which Fryer accepts congratulations from all of his many personal friends on hand today in Foxborough. Back to Charlie and Sam.
All right, thank you, Bob. We're winding down the first quarter here. 2nd and 16. King in motion. Flag is down on the play.
Tackle by Jacob Green.
Jacob Green making the tackle. So while we sort this out, Paul.
You just saw an example on that 1st down play of what happens when somebody is unblocked, one of those great defensive ends. Bryant beat his man quickly, got in, had to throw to a checkoff receiver, and lost a yard. That's what's going to happen if they don't get those guys blocked. And once again, the pattern is followed, running on 2nd down, running on long yardage to keep that nickel defense off the field.
Ben Dreith, the referee.
On Kansas City, 2 men were moving at the same time.
Well, Ben explains that pretty well. Now, last year when Kansas City and Seattle met, it was a shootout. I tell you, it's 45-0 and 34-7, and it kind of has started that way. We're wondering, you know, the Seahawks have got to get back into this game, but Seattle has only 17 yards rushing and only 17 yards passing in the first quarter. That's the end of the first, and we'll be back with the second in a moment. From California borrows the raincoat. The Easterners, they're used to this cold weather.
I'm freezing.
What did you think about the first quarter, Paul? Were you surprised?
Well, I was surprised that Kansas City got some flukes. That touchdown never should have been thrown. It was right into double coverage. They got a fumbled punt. That's their offense.
Sam, your reaction to the first period?
Well, I think Seattle right now is getting beat at their own game. They dropped that punt, and they had double coverage where they should have intercepted the ball, and the Chiefs had a touchdown. They just have to get back in the ball game right now. I don't think there's a problem, and it looks like Chuck Knox is not deviating from his game plan.
2nd down and 21. Bruce King carries and picks up a couple of yards on the play. So it'll be 3rd down and 19. So now everybody in the ballpark expects Bill Kinney to throw. Kinney easily moving up on that last tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. Kansas City leading Seattle 14-0. Herman Hurd scoring from a couple of yards out, and Kinney to Stephon Page. The touchdown pass of 34 yards. 3rd down and 19. Big play for the Seahawk defense.
He's going.
Far side, it is there. And coming down with it is Henry Marshall. Terry Taylor and Eugene Robinson at double coverage. A gain of 17.
It's a double zone, double coverage, but if you give him time, and that's what they did, he's going to complete it on that.
See, number 20 lost his position. What he should have done was hold his outside position, and he lost his position because he was concerned about Marshall going deep.
Yeah, but Sam, he still kept him in front and kept him from making the first, which counts.
Jim Arnold kicking.
Look out.
Pressure. Here's Danny Green, signals for the fair catch at the 25-yard line.
That was a Very hesitant catch.
Very hesitant.
Very
Right.
hesitant.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford, who invites you to drive the new Ford Escort. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Miller Beer. Miller made the American way since 1855. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Seattle from their own 25-yard line. Dave Craig to throw. Far side. A flag is down. Largent has it out of bounds. 40-yard line. 15 yards first down if it holds.
It involved Charlie Young because I saw him complaining downfield. He either got called for pushing off or somebody hit him. He's still complaining.
52, decline the penalty. The result of the play is first down.
Holding on Ken Jolly. They'll refuse it. They'll take the play to the 40-yard line. Gain of 15, first down. And here are the official statistics of the first quarter. Sam, time of possession is even.
Well, the key right here, of course, is in the total yards and the rushing, which is a surprise with the Chiefs rushing for 73 yards.
Warner has 4 yards to the 44, second down 6. Ken Jolly was there along with Bill Moss.
We see the Seattle triangle right now. We just got the ball to Steve Largent, but they've got to get the ball to Darryl the Burner Turner. He hasn't caught a pass in this game, and of course the important thing too is to keep using the patience and get Kurt Warner into their offense.
Second down and 6. Hard still is there for the defense.
Now there's two catalysts, Mike Bell and Art Still, and they've done that today. Those are the two anchors of that 3-4 defense, and of course, Daron Cherry is the playmaker. He's the person that makes the big plays from the secondary.
You might wonder what Still was doing over there on the right side. That's a special defense they have where Bell is reduced down to a tackle, Still plays the right end.
46-yard line, third down and 4. And Daniels late arriving in the defense. Moving in over the center as a linebacker. Craig has Largent. First down, 27-yard line of Kansas City. A gain of 27 yards.
You're always going to see Albert Lewis around Largent in that nickel situation.
Here's Craig in the shotgun. He just sits around, waits, and when you have that much time, people like Largent get open. Now here comes 23, Greg Hill making a play, but you can't give the quarterback that much time, and that's what Seattle needed right now. A couple of first downs, and now they're down in scoring territory, and Chuck Knox is feeling a lot better about the whole situation.
At the Kansas City 27-yard line, important now for the Seahawks to get a touchdown. Spinning away and leans to the 21-yard line. 6 individual yards, and again Ken Jolly with the tackle. Second down and 4 along with Lloyd Burris. For an update, here's Bob Costas.
Charlie, Mark Wilson's first pass of the day in Foxborough was intercepted. Undaunted, he comes back, and is Dokie Williams open on this play? I'd say so. 38 yards for a touchdown. The Raiders reclaim the lead, 14-10. Back to Charlie, Sam, and Dr. Z.
And here is Kansas City 14, Seattle nothing, Bob. Thank you for the update. And the Seahawks with their first major threat of the game. Second down and 4, 21-yard line of Kansas City. Here's Kurt Warner. 17-yard line. It'll be close to the first down. Mike Bell makes the tackle. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited. The rain continues to fall. The temperature continues to drop. It's now in the upper 40s. It is cold and wet. taking a little bit of time for the measurement to make sure. And here are the chains.
It's going to be just inches short, and very, very important now for Seattle to pick up this first down. And don't be surprised in this position on the field for them to go. There's Chuck Knox. Don't be surprised for them to throw to Darryl Turner into the end zone for a touchdown. It's important for Seattle to get on the board.
Bob Ham and Pete Kotz check into the defense. Seattle is 3 of 5 in third down situations.
Werner will get the ball. Give the ball to number 28.
Here's Kurt Warner, and he has the first down. He'll go to the 16-yard line. Gain of 1, first down. Bob Ham with the tackle. Let's check the scoreboard. Raiders back in front. We knew that from the update that Bob gave us, and the reason, 14-10 out in front of New England. Washington 10, Chicago nothing. That's a bit of an upset. Working in the first quarter. Dallas 7 and Houston nothing. The battle for the state of Texas bragging rights. And here it is, Kansas City 14, Seattle nothing. The Seahawks have a first down at the Kansas City 16-yard line. We have 9.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Darryl Turner going to launch it.
Intercepted in the end zone. Jerome Cherry.
Ross did a good job on this. He took away the primary receiver, who was Turner. Now he's panicky. He's going to large it. He doesn't see the inside man, Duron Cherry. That's a really bad throw by Krieg.
Anytime you're on the 20-yard line, you have to make sure his Turner now break into the inside. He's covered very well by Kevin Ross. And the biggest mistake that Craig made is you have to watch the free safety, particularly when you're down inside the 20-yard line.
Second turnover for Seattle. Kansas City first down from their own 20-yard line. Herman Hurd will lose a yard, maybe 2 on the play, as Jacob Green is there to bounce him. Yard line, second down and 11. Willie Scott, the tight end, has come out as a wide receiver, but popping through is Bruce King. A flag is down. King across the 30-yard line. John Harris, a free safety with a tackle, but there was a marker dropped to the 23.
You know, Kansas City has shown this so much, running on long yardage, that you'd think Seattle would catch on and keep a linebacker in a little tighter on this. They're going to keep doing that until they're defensed.
Offensive holding on the left guard on the offense.
Paul, they don't have linebackers in the game. The linebacker on that play was
Simpson.
number 42, Keith Simpson.
Yeah, Simpson is the weak side linebacker, but he's got to think run first on second and long, because Kansas City has done it on every situation, second and long.
And it's a good call because you don't want to put your quarterback under pressure. You try to take half of it and get a good third down sequence.
With the penalty, the ball goes back to the 10-yard line, so it'll be second down and 20.
You know, the way Arnold is punting, I think they could be very conservative here. He's getting great hang time and putting a lot of distance on it.
Seahawks with 5 in the secondary. Kenny throws far side. Henry Marshall. Marshall to the 20-yard line, so he gets 10 back. It'll be third down and 10, and Terry Taylor makes the stop. The rain continues to fall. It started raining yesterday morning here in Kansas City. Really poured about noon yesterday, and then off and on in the afternoon, and then a light drizzle all night. It's been drizzling all morning.
You know, on a day like this, the punt is almost an offensive weapon. And I think that's one area where the Chiefs have a real advantage, because Arnold is punting well, and I don't think Copeland is punting that well.
John Malkovich told us yesterday, regardless of the weather, that Kenny would come out throwing. He's completed 6 of 7 for 100 yards. Third down 10 from the shotgun.
Jake Jacob Green.
And he is sacked. First sack of the ball game for the Seattle Seahawks. They're 9th on the year.
Joe Nash the force up the middle. Jacob Green the tackle.
There's Jacob Green on the outside on the base of that triangle, and he beats David Lutz, number 72. And here comes Joe Nash, and you have pressure outside, and you have a good thrust inside. You have a sack. Now let's watch and see. They're in the coverage.
Arnold's kick.
No good. Line drive, but he'll get a bounce.
Taken to the 49-yard line by Danny Green. Green returns to the 35-yard line. 14 yards on the return, a 40-yard kick. Bruce King with the tackle. The Seahawks in excellent field position. We'll be back in just a moment. Kansas City leads 14-0. First and 10, Seattle, Kansas City 36.
Play action pass now. There's the fake. He's going to lay the ball off to David Hughes, number 46. They were looking for the big play. It wasn't there, and he exercised good patience, the quarterback, David Craig, and I think he picked up close to a first down. Here's the play action to Kurt Warner, which nullifies the rush. He's waiting, he's waiting. He sees the layoff to the fullback, and a wise decision. Now David Craig misses one, and it's going to be close for the first down. Second and very short.
26-yard line of Kansas City. Chiefs lead at 14-0. Kurt Warner has the first down. Fumble. Kansas City with the ball.
They're not going to give it to him, Charlie. Yes, they are. They're going to give him the fumble. It looked like he was indecisive.
Mike Bell.
Mike Bell, number 99, with a fumble recovery. The Chiefs now with 3 takeaways. They have recovered 2 fumbles, and Deron Cherry has an interception. Let's take another look.
There's Kurt Warner now bouncing to the outside. He picks up the key yardage. You can't see it through the medley there, but apparently the ball was knocked out. And Mike Bell, number 99, there it is right there. Mike Bell reaches out with his right hand, knocks the ball out, and makes the recovery also. That is tough on Seattle because they were in scoring position.
So twice in the first half they've been in scoring position. They failed to convert any points at all.
They're getting beat at their own game.
Kansas City from their own 25-yard line, and Kenny wants to cash in immediately. He goes deep. Marshall, incomplete. Dave Brown picked him up on the coverage. It'll be second down and 10.
I think that was just to show it. They haven't gone deep. They've got to show that they can do it, just to keep those cornerbacks from crowding them too much.
Yeah, no question about it. Right now, they're trying to hit those intermediate zones, and they want to loosen up that coverage because the corners are going to do exactly what you say. They're going to start sitting down on it. Now I think it'll loosen it up a little bit.
6 minutes and 44 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. Kansas City out in front 14-0. Herman Hurd scoring from a couple of yards out, and then a Kenny to Stephon Page touchdown pass of 34 yards. Here's Herman Hurd. And he struggles for 2. We'll give him 3 on the call.
Fred Young on the primary hit. That's why he's in the game.
They're down in 7. Michael Jackson also there. Easily in the neighborhood, as always.
Charlie, Paul Zimmerman got some roses in the booth. How come Ted Nathanson didn't send me roses in my first game?
They're not from Ted Nathanson. We'll show them. We'll show them. And they're from the 20th floor, the mysterious 20th floor.
First time I ever got flowers from the floor.
Third down and 7.
A couple of times they almost slipped on the floor. Had his arm hooked.
Walt Arnold, the tight end.
Now he's going to complain, watch. No, he's too tired.
That's 42, Keith Simpson. He had his arm. The important thing about that, the guy in the striped shirt did not see it.
4th down and 7, and Jim Arnold will be kicking.
He's got a bad one to make up for now.
We're going to get some pressure on this one. No, we're not. We're there in the coverage.
It's a good one. Danny Green. 28-yard line. And almost separated from the ball at the 37. A 44-yard kick. 9 yards on the return, and Bruce King was there for Kansas City. We'll be back in a moment. Well, you have to explain that flowers are from the 20th floor. Now, what does that mean?
Or no, it said flounders on the card.
No, it didn't. It's the 20th. It's all of you. I know what it is, though. It's all of your friends at Sports Illustrated.
Well, I don't know. The other side of it said Fat Louise. I don't know who she is.
I wouldn't get near that statement. Seattle from their own 37-yard line, maybe the 38. First down. Kansas City leading 14-0. Dave Craig opens up throwing and passes complete to Steve Largent. Largent celebrating his 31st birthday yesterday. Gary Spaney making the tackle. At the 44-yard line, gain of 7, second down and 3.
There's Steve Largent, who certainly has a tremendous pain threshold. A lot of receivers after a lot of receivers would not be playing today after what he's gone through in the early part of this season.
Seattle with 2 turnovers on each of their last 2 possessions, an interception and a fumble recovery, and both deep in Kansas City territory where they had scoring opportunities. They failed to convert. Here's Kurt Warner going for the first down, and he'll pick it up to the 49-yard line. Bill Moss with the tackle.
I'm not sure that Kansas City, we don't want to take anything away from them, but right now Seattle is beating themselves. In the game that they usually lead the league in, they're turning the ball over. They've had a couple of good scoring opportunities, and now they have a first down at the 50. They got to put something on the board on this drive.
So we had 5 turnovers Monday night against the Rams. We've had 2 turnovers here in the first half against Kansas City. 3. You're right, an interception, 2 fumble recoveries.
Play action, they're going to Turner.
Far side, no, it's Darrell Turner, 39-yard line of Kansas City, and the first down by 3, a gain of 13.
And Turner needs to be in this game. Now he's releasing off the line of scrimmage. On the interception before he went inside, he's got a lot of room. Now he breaks back to the outside. He throws the ball nice and low to the outside, and Darrell Turner needs to be in this offense.
I think the ball took a dive on him, Sam. Because the defender wasn't near him. He didn't have to throw it low. He could have gotten it up, but I think Craig is having a lot of trouble hitting the corners with this wet ball.
Well, I don't think so, Paul, because quarterbacks like to throw the ball low to the outside because the corner can't recover.
Take off your glasses.
That's interesting.
Turner
I'm not
again.
going to get in this. Turner, 20-yard line. A gain of 19, a first down, but there was a flag back at the 37. All right, let's all hang together because we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KING-TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
Number 99 declined the penalty. That's a first down.
Mike Bell offsides. The play will stand. Kansas City leading Seattle 14-0. 4 minutes, 13 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. And here's another look.
Here's Turner now breaking to the inside. Kevin Ross, 31, makes the play. But as we said before, Turner needs to be in this offense.
First down at the Chiefs' 20-yard line. Craig has completed 10 of 12 for 106 yards. Here's Kurt Warner. And a flag is down as Warner picks up a couple of yards. Gary Spaney with the stump. I'm Charlie Jones along with Sam Rutigliano and Paul Zimmerman.
I think Bush grabbed a hold of Bill Moss then. You know, the Raiders complained about Moss grabbing the face mask. And I asked him about it, and he said, well, I get them before they get me. He didn't deny it.
Number 59.
On Blair Bush, the center. So we'll take the ball back to the 30-yard line of Kansas City, and the down goes over. First down and 20.
We have a lot of SIWs, self-inflicted wounds, on the part of Seattle. This is not their game. They don't turn the ball over, and they don't make those penalty and key drives.
A couple of scores just in. Chicago out in front of Washington now 14-10. St. Louis leads Green Bay 9-0, and Tampa Bay leads Detroit 6-3. Craig with pressure.
Oh, he broke away.
Still on his feet. Was diving out of bounds at the 29-yard line. All of that is worth a yard. It'll be second down and 19. Spaney was after it.
That's one of the difficulties you have. There's David Craig with a quarterback that can run the football. Defensively, you're basically playing against 11 people. He was apparently sacked. He came out of the pocket. Although he didn't run for a great deal of yardage, it really helps their offense because he tries to locate open receivers.
you know, it's a little nerve-wracking. Craig running like that on a wet field with people in pursuit. If he goes down, they have a free agent rookie behind him, and that's all.
And Jim Zorn is in Green Bay.
Jim Zorn is in Green Bay, right. Gail Gilbert is on the bench.
It'd be hard for him to get here for the game today.
2nd and 19. The rain continues to come down. There it is. 21-yard line. Byron Franklin, who was acquired in a trade with Buffalo. Albert Lewis stays down.
Albert Lewis's right arm, and he's their best defensive back.
As you see, Kansas City is in a zone. They've got 4 people deep, 4 underneath, and he makes the right choice to go underneath to number 89, Byron Walker. There's 89 crossing over from one zone into the next. Now, David Craig makes the right choice. It's important right now for them to get on the board. Now watch Craig take a look at it, and Byron Walker, number 89, makes the play right there. And there's 29, Albert Lewis, holding on to his right arm, and apparently that's where he was hurt.
Let me just clean that up. There's so many 88s and 89. That's 88 Byron Franklin. And we'll get a report, of course, on Albert Lewis, and as soon as we have it, we'll pass it on to you. He's replaced by Greg Hill at defensive cornerback. The ball to Kansas City, 21, 3rd down and 11. Trailing 14-0. Are we in a 4-down situation for Seattle?
Well, they have to be patient here, because even if they don't make it, they have to kick the field goal and get on the board. Be patient, David.
I think it's a delay.
Flag is down, maybe delay.
Might be.
78, offense, false start.
False start on Bob Kreider. And of course, once from tackle to tackle, when you're in that 3 or 4 point stance and you have the false start, it's an automatic call and they'll stop it immediately. And Albert Lewis, he's back in the ball game, number 29 for the Kansas City Chiefs. The penalty takes the ball to the 26-yard line. 3rd down and 16. So again, the Seattle Seahawks continue to self-destruct. And they're doing it, and at least they're doing it in Kansas City territory.
Well, that's what Chuck Knox talked about last night in our meeting. He was worried about them not playing in concert.
Craig throws far side, going to Darrell Turner. Incomplete.
And he should have made that catch. That ball hit him right in the hands, and it probably was close to a 1st down.
There could have been a flag on that. The Chiefs are all upset because Bailey was strangling Moss on that.
There's Turner releasing off the line of scrimmage. He plants his inside foot, breaks to the outside, waiting on the ball. The coverage is not there. It's a difficult catch, but he's got to make those plays that hit him right in both hands, and it was an important catch. And there's Darrell Turner. I'm sure if he had an opportunity, he felt he could have made that catch. Now it's important, Charlie, that they make this field goal and get some points on the board.
Norm Johnson, a 44-yard field goal attempt. Largent to hold.
He's got it.
Hits the upright. Hits the left upright.
Are you wondering what Chuck Knox is thinking about right now?
What else can
Everything's
happen?
going wrong.
Gee, it started out beautifully, and then it was a hook shot.
Watch number 9, Norm Johnson. He hits it in a sweet spot. It gets up, doesn't have a lot of velocity. It's starting to hook as you kick from right to left. Now watch it. Hits the goal post and goes out to the left side, and this drives kickers crazy. Watch Norm Johnson, great concentration. Steve Largent puts the ball down. Now he turns his eyes, he's looking up, looks like he's got 3 points, and now he's upset. And that's the way the ball bounces. Sometimes it hits the goalpost and goes in, and sometimes it hits the goalpost and goes out.
And the running back, number 48, E.J. Jones, just fighting for anything in the arms of Michael Jackson.
Charlie, have you ever seen Seattle in the last year or so play this kind of football in concert?
No, their last 3 possessions, they've gone to the Kansas City 16, 27, and 26, and they have come up empty every time. We've got the 2-minute warning to both benches. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Chiefs lead it 14-0. 14, Seattle nothing. Also in the NFL, New England in front of the Raiders 20-14. Chicago now leads Washington 21-10. And Minnesota in front of Buffalo 13-0. So sure to stay with us at halftime for NFL 85. Updates and scores, highlights from around the league. 2nd down and 7. Chiefs ball, their own 29-yard line. Kenny has pressure. He'll be sacked.
Fred Young up the middle.
2nd sack for the Seahawks, and Fred Young got it.
You know, this isn't a blitzing team. The front four does it on their own, but when they do blitz, it's usually a surprise, and it's big trouble.
Well, what helps, too, is when you have 2 good outside rushers, and Fred Young, number 50, went airborne for that sack.
We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in just a moment. Best friend won't tell you.
Isn't he a lonely man right now? He looks like the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd down and 14. Kansas City has 4 first downs. We've got 2 touchdowns. 1:55 time remaining, first half.
Pressure.
Bryant.
They're going to rule it incomplete. They're ruling it incomplete. They said that the wrist was moving forward.
Bryant beat John Alt. He's in there for Herkenhoff at left tackle. I don't know what's wrong with Herkenhoff. Maybe he's hurt. But he just took an outside rush. It was a strength rush. He leaned on him and made the sack.
Kenny is in the shotgun. He drops back to pass. 77 is on John Alt. He beats him. The arm is moving forward. It was a good call by the referee, Ben Dreith.
4th down.
Watch him pressure this kicker.
Jim Arnold's 5th punt of the first half.
Pressure the kicker. Pressure the kicker.
Beauty.
Danny Green fumbles it, dives for it. He's got it. He's got it, I believe. They're going to rule that he recovered it.
I don't like that call.
Cocroft goes into the end zone, 39 yards on that punt.
That was
one of his best.
Fumble and Kansas City's ball.
So the conference continues at the 40-yard line, so let's wait and see. So the officials have moved away to the 35-yard line, holding the conference.
I think it's Seattle's ball because Kansas City is mad.
Now let's look.
Danny Green is calling for the fair catch. Now cradle the ball, catch it. He drops it right out of his hands. He doesn't recover it. It's a free ball. Kansas City right now has possession. Number 22, Sherman Cockcroft, and that is Kansas City's ball.
Seattle from their own 40-yard line. The officials ruling that when Green had it just momentarily, that the ball was down at that point. Intercepted.
Gonna be a touchdown, maybe, Charlie.
Greg Hill down the sideline. No, he stepped out. He stepped out at the 13-yard line.
Great read by Greg Hill. Greg didn't look him off. He was looking at Walker all the way.
It was a great read by Greg Hill, but it was a poor throw by David Craig. He hung the ball up to the outside and it took too much time. You can't throw a route like that and wait.
That is the 4th turnover in the first half.
It's Greg Hill right now going for an apparent touchdown. Let's watch his feet, watch his feet, watch his feet, and he steps out of bounds right there. Maybe that dancing class could have kept him in bounds.
Seattle 13-yard
tackle, by the way.
Jeff Bryant for the defensive ball carrier, E.J. Jones. The Chiefs have 5 running backs, 4 are rookies.
You know, just to show you how things are going for Kansas City, if they would have been given the ball on that fumbled punt, things wouldn't have worked out as well for them.
There's David Craig on his side right now. I'm sure if he had an opportunity, he would have thrown that ball more on time. He hung it up to the outside, and right now, Seattle needs to at least get out of here at 17-0 as opposed to 21-0.
Ball at the 12-yard line. The Chiefs with the timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and the rain continues to fall. 1 minute and 13 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. A frustrating first half for the Seahawks. A great one for Kansas City.
Right, and last night, as we talked about earlier, when he talked to Chuck Knox, one of his biggest concerns was he said that his team had not really played in concert for 3 games. And right now, many of the things that are happening to them are things that they inflict on people that they play against.
You know, I remember this happening to Seattle in a playoff game against the Raiders. And when they start turning the ball over, they're a very ordinary team because their offense starts pressing to get away from their running game. They're a running team. When they start throwing it, and pressing and forcing, they're a very ordinary team.
The scores remind us, of course, they look at halftime NFL 85, all of the scores and the highlights from around the league today. Second down and 9, 12-yard line of Seattle.
Look for him to get the ball up quick, maybe to 83. Stephon Page.
Page was pushed out of it. Dave Brown pushed him out of the room. He's complaining now.
He really was pushed over the rim, wasn't he?
Dave Brown just shoved him out of his ring.
Well, within the 5-yard restricting area,
right.
That's legal.
Yeah,
there's Dave Brown right now. He's going to push him, and he goes up. They got good coverage in the end zone. There's Stephon Page, number 83, goes up with both feet. Well, what an outstanding play by number 20, Terry Taylor.
That was like
got his hand up and knocked it away.
No, we didn't see it. He was off to the side when the push was made. Third down and 9. He got away with it.
Get the ball up quick now, Bill Kenny. Get the ball up quick.
No room in the press box.
It's all right. He roots for both sides, so it's okay.
Judgment.
Same play. Oh, he didn't turn.
Flag is
face
down.
guarded him. That was face guarding. He never turned. He was staring him in the face.
Face guarding on number 20, Terry Taylor. He never turned around. Had he turned around, he would have been in the rules. Within the rules. There's Terry Taylor. He's aggravated on the sideline, and Henry Marshall, number 89, and I thought it was a good call.
You know, he's lucky he didn't get a touchdown on him because he never looked for the ball. He was just staring him in the face.
There's Henry Marshall releasing off the line of scrimmage. Now watch him stare at the ball. Now Taylor, turn around. And Marshall right now bobbles the ball and almost gets a touchdown.
So with the penalty, the ball will be at the 1-yard line. It'll be first down goal to go.
That's Ralph Hawkins, the defensive secondary.
Now what Taylor's saying, he said, I wasn't moving my hands in front of his face.
This team is coming apart, Sam.
Yeah, but he's saying I wasn't waving in front of his face.
They're forgetting everything.
First down goal to go, 1-yard line. He does not go in. 52 seconds in counting. You look at the countdown of the time.
There's Chuck Knox on the sideline, and right now he is wondering what's going on. Every part of their offense, defense, and special teams are so out of character for the Seattle Seahawks.
Quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Kansas City.
That's called a quarterback lean. He looked like he was falling off a curb.
You're right. Very little sneak to it.
No, I don't think he moved his feet. It's a topple play.
Just lean behind.
Kenny on a forward topple.
If you get a good surge forward, let's watch the surge. Now Kenny leans in with all that power and gets the ball over the plane, touchdown. You have to give credit right now to the 2 guards and the center, Bob Rush, for creating the surge and controlling what they call the jump line. That's a neutral line between the offense and defensive linemen.
And don't forget to give credit to Greg Hill, who had the interception that set all of this up.
It looks like
to Arnold for that great punt.
It looks like Hurricane Glory is in Kansas City, only Kansas City's wearing the uniform.
Extra point is good, and the Chiefs are now out in front of Seattle by a score of 21-0. And we still have 26 seconds left to go in the first half.
I'll tell you one thing I would do in the second half if I were Seattle. I would get Danny Green off that punt return. Because if you notice, even the ones that he was catching, he's grasping it up around his chest. He doesn't look sheared off. And Arnold got off that beautiful 4.64 hang time under great pressure, and he didn't expect a big one like that, and he was really trembling back there.
Yeah, he's a rookie, and right now he's really pressing. I couldn't agree with you more.
And you saw Warpaint a moment ago joining the celebration with Tyler Burchett. And so now with 26 seconds left to go in the second quarter, Kansas City will be kicking off. Nick Lowry to kick off. Randall Morris and Danny Green are the deep backs on the return. Randall Morris fights his way back to around the 29-yard line, where Seattle will have a first down. Sherman Cockcroft was there on the special team. 20 seconds left to go, first half. Kansas City 21, Seattle nothing.
Fall on the ball and go in at halftime. Don't try anything fancy.
I don't think they're going to sit on the ball, Paul. Right now, I think their offense is frustrated.
Well,
Out of concert, out of sync. They're just not doing the things that they normally do.
well, there's 20 seconds left, which is time for one more turnover.
And here we go. We have fall on
Now
the
they're gonna
ball,
sit on it.
and it's all over. That's a good play at this point if you're away. If you're at home, they'll boo you right off the field.
And so now we take the countdown to the end of the first half. The score at halftime, Kansas City 21 and Seattle nothing. Let's just pick out one key play. There were several in the first half. Possibly the interception by Deron Cherry in the end zone.
Well, I think there are a lot of plays, but certainly at this point, with the score 14-0, in a position now to get down by one, he sees Lodgett, and Lodgett is not open, but he has to keep his eyes focused upfield on the free safety because that's why he's free. He's free to make the ball, and what Deron Cherry did there, Charlie, he watched David Craig's eyes, and the moment David Craig looked to the inside, he moved in for the interception.
I think the unsung hero in that play was Kevin Ross. He gave Turner enough coverage so that Craig had to look off him, and once you look off him and you don't look back to him, he had to look somewhere else, and he panicked a little bit. And Ross broke away from him so quickly he was almost in position to make the play with Cherry too.
Kansas City, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries in the first half. NFL 85 halftime activities will continue in a moment after these messages from your local station. And a quick fire drill as we now are back where we should be for the second half. And Danny Green with a clean jersey is the kickoff return man for the Seattle Seahawks. So
Now,
there's not been a change there.
It's very important as they come back now with the ball in the opening of the second half that they get a drive going. Right now, don't panic. Get some first downs. It'll be very important for them right now to put some points on the board. If they do that, they can get right back into this game. There's plenty of time left.
First down, Seattle, the ball on their own 28-yard line. Darrell Turner, first down, and out of bounds far sideline. Gain of 20 yards from the 28 to the 48-yard line. Kevin Ross was there.
Too much time. When they give him that much time, he's going to complete those kind of passes all day.
When you have a play-action pass from I formation with Kurt Warner, as you see here, it nullifies the rush. He's got plenty of time. He finds Darrell Turner. Now that's what Craig needs to do. Settle down, get a key reception up across the almost to the 50-yard line. Now get your offense back into flow, into sync.
Largent coming in motion. Little play action fake. Largent.
Oh, what a catch.
Sliding
What a
reception.
catch.
Great catch. 36-yard line.
Charlie Jones, 87, was wide open. But you never get on a quarterback for completing passes.
I'll tell you, Steve Largent, coming from Washington, is one of the best receivers at catching balls in a puddle of water.
See, it's a bootleg. He gets out now. He's going to come right back to Lodgett. There he goes, scoops it right up there. He's got his rubbers, his umbrella, and he makes the catch.
He can make those puddle catches.
29, Albert Lewis was on him all the way.
And a gain of 16 to the Kansas City 36-yard line. First down. Back to back. Opening. First down. Second half just underway. Seattle trails 21-0. Tight end Charlie Young in motion. Craig. Little punt fake, and then he had the pressure from Mike Bell.
And that was a late pressure. It was a coverage pressure because they had
Lloyd
double
Burris and
coverage.
Albert Lewis had Slodgett double covered. There's David Craig. He did the wise thing because he would have thrown another interception. Steve Lodgen was double covered all the way. Let's watch Steve Lodgen. He releases off the line of scrimmage, number 80. Now, Albert Lewis is on the outside, and he's going to press him. But there's 34, Lloyd Burris, and 29, Albert Lewis has got him bracketed, and Dave Craig made the right decision.
They've been running in 2nd and long.
2nd and 10.
Blitz by 34.
That's the Sam blitz. Strong safety.
Closest receiver was Charlie Young. In reality, they were just getting rid of the ball.
They have to do that. They have to bring him because they're giving him too much time, and he's going to march down the field and put him in the end zone if they do that. So they have to shake him up.
There was a miscommunication because David Craig just threw the ball out on the surface, and Charlie Young was nowhere near the play. I think Charlie should have went to the left.
3rd down and 10.
Going to Darryl Turner.
He's there. He's open. He drops it. It was in his hands at the 5-yard line. It was a touchdown.
And should have made the play.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think what he did there was he didn't stop and adjust for the ball. He kept running, and by the time the ball caught up with him, it was behind him. It was a tough catch. He made a tough catch out of a routine catch.
Lodgen is going to the inside. Darryl Turner breaks to the outside. Now he is wide open.
He should have cut his speed a little bit here.
Concentrate. You see what he did? He should have had his body in concert with the ball. And Paul is exactly right. He went beyond the ball. If he would have slowed down and made that catch, it was a big play for Seattle.
And Coldwood now will kick for the corner. Light-footed kicker kicking to that left corner. That's what you want to do. You want to just hook it out.
Well, I think it came a little too far upfield.
Not bad.
That's the 9-yard line. It's not bad.
Not bad at the 9. Punt of 27 yards. Kansas City has the lead. They'll have the ball when we come back in just a moment. Their first offensive possession of the second half. Here's Herman Hurd. We'll give him 3 yards to the 12. It'll be 2nd down and 7. An injury report on Otis McKinney, defensive back for Kansas City, injured right knee. Uncertain if he will return. Joe Nash made the last tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, the Seahawks need to have their game, and that is they need a turnover.
The defense has to get them back into the game.
That's right.
Because the offense right now is throttling down. Defense has to make a play and get them back into the game.
And what Kansas City needs right now is a couple of first downs.
Right.
Use up a little time.
Be patient. Be patient, and don't make any mistakes.
Page in motion, a little play
Easily
action,
blitz.
Pressure. And he overthrows the intended receiver. Willie Scott, the tight end, was down there, and Stephon Page was also deep. They both had, I think when they saw the pressure, they both cut off their routes.
No question about it, and Kenny was in trouble. Actually, Kenny Easley, number 45, fell to the surface. He could have made the play. Now, Bill Kenny right now doesn't want to take any chances. The worst thing that could happen to Kansas City right now is to line up and punt the football. He doesn't want the defense of Seattle to in any way get them back into the game.
3rd down and 7. He'll come out throwing here, though, right?
Yep, except they're not in the shotgun. He's going to throw to a back.
Right up the middle.
Down. They'll mark it at the 1-yard line. They'll mark it at the 1-yard line. Randy Edwards gets the sack, the 4th for the Seattle Seahawks.
Randy Edwards, a very fine backup defensive lineman. There's Bill Kenny, who took the sack. It was almost a safety. He drops back without the shotgun. There's 68. He just shoves 66 Brad Buddy aside and makes the play. What an outstanding pursuit on the part of Randy Edwards. It was just a power rush up the middle and beat Brad Buddy.
There's pressure on the kick, and Kenny Easley is the punt returner.
Oh.
He drops it. Kansas City scrambles for it. Seattle dives. The Seahawks come up with it.
Bad mistake by Kansas City, Charlie.
Now that looked
They
like
tried to pick it up. They had stars in their eyes.
that looked like the Keystone Cops.
Seattle has the ball. We'll be back. The Seahawks made the change. Easily the punt returner rather than Danny Green, but same results.
Now watch, he tries to pick it up instead of just falling on it. Oh.
That's 22, Sherman Cockcroft, and 37, Eric Lane makes a key recovery for Seattle.
Eric Lane, the captain of the special teams for the Seattle Seahawks. Hawks ball, 40-yard line, Kansas City. First down. Little play action going deep.
Interception.
Incomplete. Almost intercepted by Kevin Ross. He had perfect position on Darrell Turner.
Real bad throw by Craig.
That's right. Craig just pulled up on it. It's a play action pass. Craig is going to his left. There's Darrell Turner going through. Kevin Ross, number 31. But you can see Darrell Turner, as he slows down, the ball was underthrown. Had it been a good pass, there might have been a touchdown, because I don't think that the safety could have come over and helped him. And there's Kevin Ross, almost had an interception.
Plenty of time to throw also.
2nd and 10. Kansas City 40. Seattle trails 21-0. 12 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Here's Kurt Warner.
Running on 2nd and long again, and now they're ready for it.
Mike Bell drops it. Gain of a yard. 3rd down and 9. Kurt Warner, 13 carries and 41 yards. 41 yards rushing in 13 carries. Good news for Kansas City. Otis McKinney back in the ball game as an extra defensive back.
They're not in their 4-man rush, Charlie. They're in a 3-man line, and they have 7 DBs and 1 linebacker.
Which means they're going to lay back and cover, and they're not going to put any pressure on the quarterback.
From the shotgun, 3rd and 9, 39-yard line, Kansas City. Turner's in motion. 3 wide receivers on the near side. Bad throw. One hopper to Steve Largent, or he missed Byron Franklin.
And you see Craig walking off the field. He didn't even look at his receiver and ask him what happened. He's so disgusted. See, Franklin came over to him and asked. He didn't search him out. I think Craig is really in a state of shock in this game right now.
4th down and 9. And Jimmy Colquitt will be punting. A moment ago, about the same position. He went for the left-hand corner, and he put him out at the 9-yard line.
He doesn't look happy. Oh,
terrible.
It wasn't a happy punt.
And Garcia Lane steps away from it. It goes into the end zone. Touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line.
0.8 hang time.
19-yard. 0.8 hang time?
No
You're
hang.
kidding. You could hang that one around your neck. We'll be back. On his first 3 punts, this is his 4th one.
You take a look right now. He hits a line drive, base hit into center field, and there was no hang time. And there's Jim Colquitt on the sideline right now as Chuck Knox is chasing him along the sideline after that punt.
Kansas City, their own 20-yard line, first down. Chiefs lead it 21-0. 11 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Here's Kenny. And he throws behind Herman Hurd.
Yeah, they had a blitz, Butler blitz, and he threw into the area and just misfired.
Now, we've had a lot of rain. I mean, this rain has been a heavy drizzle. Very little wind because it's been coming straight down, but it is cold. The temperature is in the 40s, 47 degrees, and it has been going on throughout the ball game. Everybody is soaked. This has to affect the play.
Yeah, the ball took a dive on him. It came out of his hand roll.
Yeah, has to. Kenny has missed on his last 6 passes, and has to also be bothering Craig, not making excuses. Statement of fact. 2nd down and 10. Here's the draw. Bruce King.
Yeah, I think that's getting a little old on that side too. They're running on 2nd and long. They're ready.
Gain of 3, 3rd down 7. Keith Butler makes the tackle. So 3rd and 7. You're going to throw. Who do you throw to?
Well, right now I think they're going to throw to one of their backs or the tight end, Walt Arnold. But it looks to me now that everybody's out there in a conservative-looking offense. Kansas City right now cannot afford to sit on the ball. They have to be as aggressive as they were the first half offensively.
3rd down 7.
Watch the blitz.
4 wide receivers, and the inside handoff to King, and he runs into everybody and goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Dave Brown leading the Seahawk defense. So it'll be 4th down and about 10, loss of 3 to the 20-yard line.
We're hearing the boos, Charlie, because of the ultra-conservatism on the part of Kansas City.
And Kenny Easley is going to return a 2nd punt. Now remember, he was the punt returner last year for the Seahawks when Paul Johns had the injury.
He's having problems too, though.
And he had a problem on the first. Oh,
There's
great kick. Great kick.
He's not even going to bother. There he is. Oh, he even had trouble fielding it on the bounce.
Easily picked it up at the 19, has 8 yards on the return to the 27. The kick, 60 yards, 6-0. What was the hang time?
4.2.
And Lewis Cooper was downfield. So Seattle will move on offense. Let's check the scoreboard at halftime. New England leading the Raiders 20-14. Halftime, Chicago 31, Washington 10. Dallas 7, Houston nothing. That score has been the same for a long time. 9:59 left to go in the third. Seattle from their own 28-yard line. Here's the draw. Flag is down. Warner to the 37-yard line. 9 yards if it holds.
That's a late flag. Charlie Young is looking anguished, and so is Kreider. The official was watching him open the hole with the block, and then all of a sudden, about 5 seconds later, decided to throw it.
I think it was a face mask.
Jerry Blanton was there for the defense.
I think it was a face mask, Charlie.
Dale Williams, Ed Leisman.
Grabbed the face
there
mask.
it is.
It's a 5-yard penalty, and that's a first down.
They're going to tag it on to the end of the run. 37-yard line, plus the penalty. Brings it out to the 42, first down.
Let's watch Kurt Warner on a draw play. There's 34, Lloyd Burris reaches in with his right hand, tries to get the ball, and grabs the face mask.
Kurt Warner against San Diego 2 weeks ago rushed for 169 yards, had 32 yards against the Rams, has 50 yards in 14 carries in this ballgame. Craig drops it off to Warner. Out of bounds, 50-yard line. Another flag is down. 8 yards if it holds.
They brought both linebackers that time, and Craig just dumped it off into the deserted zone where Daniels blitzed from. Hughes got a good block, and if it's called on him, it's a bad call because he got Spaney right off his feet with a perfect block.
It looks like it's going to go against the offense.
Clipping on the offense, number 46.
Not a good
David
call.
You disagree with the call?
No.
That's the end of it.
Good call, just like I said.
Yeah,
I told you it was a good call.
That's right, for the very beginning. Now let's go back to the scoreboard. Philadelphia 3 over the Giants, third quarter. Well, there's another upset working. Now Dallas has added a field goal, 10-0 over Houston, third quarter. Detroit leading Tampa Bay by 1.
Lodgett.
Incomplete.
He's open, Charlie, and David Craig is out of sync. He's just not hitting those open receivers, and he had plenty of time.
You know, I think they do better when they're throwing from their base defense and keeping the nickel off the field. When they're going 4 wideouts and Kansas City has that mob on the field, they're having all sorts of troubles. They're doing better from their base defense.
And a chance to update the baseball scores. First inning, Minnesota. California leading by 1 over Cleveland in the third. And of course, the Angels will be here in Kansas City for 4 games this week. And go a long way in deciding who's going to be in the championship series that you'll see on NBC. Craig's pass is intercepted. Deron Cherry has his second interception of the game. In and out of the arms of the receiver, 26 yards on the return.
That was Steve Largent. That's what they look for. Largent coming in on the slot. And if he were healthy, he wouldn't be dropping those. He took a terrible beating last week. He dropped some passes. He came into this game with a bad knee, a bad shoulder, a bad wrist, and that's why he dropped that. A healthy Steve Largent wouldn't drop it.
There's Deron Cherry, the free safety, who makes it happen. There's Lodgett now coming back for the ball. He has to go to the outside, but an alert Cherry picks it right off the ground. Number 20, Deron Cherry, a Pro Bowl free safety who is there to make those plays. There's Craig again. He throws a little bit to the outside, but I couldn't agree more with Paul. Lodgett makes that play under normal conditions.
First down, Seattle 14-yard line. Kansas City leads 21-0. They give us to Bruce King. King powers his way to the 8-yard line. He has 6, second down and 4.
King is a Purdue fullback, and this is Big Ten football. Bad weather, getting a little cold, nasty, pounded in. That's what he can do.
Jackson and Butler make the tackle as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching KING-TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
This is Charlie Jones along with Sam Rutigliano and Paul Zimmerman, Kansas City. Second down and 4, Seattle 8, Chiefs lead at 21-0. In the rain at Arrowhead Stadium.
On a page.
Oh, he never looked around. That's Dave Brown. He's a veteran. He never looked for the ball.
He went to Stephon Page, but he went quickly. He didn't give him a chance to respond to the ball. There's Chuck Knox, boy. He doesn't know what's going on right now with his football team.
8-yard touchdown pass to Page, his second touchdown of the ball game, his third of the year.
Kenny's going on a 3-step drop, gets the ball up quickly. There's 22, Dave Brown, doesn't even see the ball, and there's Stephon Page, 83, makes the play. That's the replacement for Carlos Carson for their 4th touchdown.
The extra point, go Kenny Holden.
Point is good. So the score is Kansas City 28 and Seattle nothing with 8:14 left to go in the third. Turnovers, and 3 of them led to Kansas City touchdowns.
Well, this team right now is playing totally out of character. And I sensed it a little last night when we talked to Chuck Knox. He seemed to be concerned because somehow, some way, Seattle always has someone do it for him.
On the kickoff return, here's Danny Green. Green to the 50. And he redeems himself a little bit at least. Cocroft finally got him. 52 yards on the kickoff return for Danny Green, the Husky, the rookie from Washington. And he needed that. And so did the Seahawks. And speaking of the Seahawks offensively, defensively, they have given up 2 touchdowns to Stephon Page, who is number 83. We'll talk about him when Kansas City comes on offense, so just kind of file that one away. Now let's see if Seattle can get anything going offensively. First down at the Kansas City 32-yard line.
Going to launch it.
He's got it, and he goes out of bounds. A little 2-step at the 13-yard line. First down, a gain of 19. The Steve Largent baseball update. 4th inning, the Mets in front of Pittsburgh 4-3, and we have another one. 3rd inning, Kansas City and Minnesota tied 2-2.
You've got a second defensive line in there now. He's given the varsity a little rest. You've got Ham in there, Lindstrom. I think he's willing to sacrifice some yardage and time just to give him a rest.
13-yard line, Kansas City. Holly is in. Kurt Warner, 7-yard line. He picks up 6 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 4. We have 7 minutes and 42 seconds time remaining third quarter. Kansas City 28 and Seattle nothing. The Seahawks have had opportunity after opportunity, but they've self-destructed each time.
Well, you know, the Kansas City defense has been on the field an awful lot. Seattle's been moving it, and I think it's a good idea to give those guys some rest, get them back later when they're fresh.
Cherry went up for it. He has 2 interceptions. Darrell Turner, the intended receiver. And Darrell Turner, over his 2-year career, well, every 3rd reception has been a touchdown, but not today so far.
Strange kind of a throw. Where did he think he was going to get that ball?
I think he threw the ball away because you saw Darron Cherry, number 20, moving in for the interception. Darron Cherry is obviously leaning towards doubling Darrell Turner.
3rd down.
He's going to Turner.
Going up for it was Greg Hill.
That was a 3-point miss for Hill. If they go for the 3, of course they might go for 7.
Hill thought that he should have had his 2nd interception.
As you can see right here, Hill's going up for the ball, and the ball goes right through his hands. And again, as Paul said, that's a 4-point play right there.
It's 4th down.
I think they're going for it.
Sure, why not? You're down 28-0, 7 minutes to go in the third.
At this stage of the game, they've got to get 7 points. 3 is not going to do them any good. Look for him to go to Lodgen. Lodgen in the corner.
There's the blitz.
Largent in the corner. Does Turner back inside? No, he was juggling it.
That's a drop.
Did not have possession. He'll argue. He will lose the argument.
There was an official from the side that ruled touchdown. That's why David Craig is talking to him. But it's not going to do you any good right now. It's like trying to talk to the Russians. You're not going to get anywhere.
Now here's a situation. Now let's look at, here's a situation I think that we ought to have the use of the replay. Possession, there is one, and the second
foot is out of bounds.
Good call by the official.
Good call by the official. There it is up. Darryl Turner goes up. Let's watch his feet. He makes the catch. Right
Possession,
foot,
1 foot.
left foot. He is out of bounds, clearly, and it's another good call.
Official's having a good ball game. 8-yard line, first down Kansas City as they take over on downs, and they give us to Bruce King. Let's go to Bob Costas for an update. Bob?
Charlie, Jim Plunkett is already out, as you know, for the Raiders, maybe for the season. His replacement, Mark Wilson, scrambling in Foxborough today. He isn't hit, but as he goes down on his own, his left ankle twists beneath him. For the moment, at least, he's gone to the sideline. In comes Rusty Hilger, the rookie from Oklahoma State.
Well, they wanted to find out what Rusty could do. They being the fans of Los Angeles, that's been kind of the underground movement, so now they'll find out. Here's Herman Hurd. Thanks for the update, Bob. 15-yard line. Gain of a couple. It'll be third down and still 3 to go for the first down. Jeff Bryant with the tackle. We're moving on the 6-minute mark. Time remaining, third quarter. Chiefs lead it 28-0.
You know, Charlie, the Seahawks had the ball 2nd and 4 on the 7-yard line. They went for the end zone 3 straight times. You know, you have to think, why didn't they try and get their first down and punch it in? It would have taken about another minute. That's kind of panicky type football. I don't know how good an idea that was.
There's the man right now, Chuck Knox. I think the reason he did it is because he's fighting the clock. He needed to get in the end zone as quickly as he possibly could.
Third down 3. Kenny to throw.
Time. Plenty of time.
Henry Marshall. 23-yard line. He needed 3 yards. He got 8. He got the first down. Michael Jackson got the tackle. And the clock continues to move. Henry with 4 receptions for 56 yards.
Seattle's got to get back into this game. They have to do something defensively. They got to get the ball by a turnover and get back in the end zone because the time is running out for them right now.
Here's Herman Hurd. There's a fumble.
And they got it.
There it is. First turnover for the Seattle Seahawks.
Watching right now, there's David Brown, 53, Keith Butler, and here comes Fred Young, number 50. Get on the ball, Fred. Now get on the ball, Fred. Recover it. That's exactly what Seattle needed right now, and they have the ball in scoring territory.
It was John Harris that snuck in for the fumble recovery, the free safety. 26-yard line. Kansas City first down for Seattle.
And they're going to throw the ball.
Varsity defense is back. He gave his, it paid off. He gave his first string defensive line a rest. Now they're back.
Baseball update, 6th inning. St. Louis leading Montreal 3-2. 2nd and 10. Kansas City 27. In the second half, Dave Craig has completed only 4 of 15 passes. Here's today's attendance, even in the rain, 50,485. It looks sparse because we see 80,000 here in Kansas City. Craig drops this off to Kurt Warner. stopped at the 25. He'll get a yard. Gary Spaney was there. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Chance to look at the football scores. Kurt Warner last year, of course, everybody knows. The first game of the season went down with a knee injury, the operation, and when he came out of the anesthetic, he looked up, and who did he see?
Todd Blackledge. He flew all the way from Kansas City on his day off and flew back that night and got back just in time to go to practice. What a loyal friend he was.
Todd Blackledge, of course, the backup quarterback to Bill Kenny at Kansas City. He was starting then because Bill Kenny was injured. They were teammates at Penn State. They were roommates at Penn State. Very close friends. And Kurt Warner told us this morning, he said, I was so fuzzy I couldn't see him for a couple hours, but then I was really glad to see a friend. Incomplete.
Another drop.
Franklin, the intended receiver.
They had trips to the right, 3 wide receivers. Franklin came across and dropped the ball. That's the story of their offense.
It'll be 4th down and 9 at the 25. 3 minutes, 43 seconds to go in the 3rd.
He's going to go for it again on 4th down. And as we said earlier, field goals at this point are not going to help Seattle. But they're just not, there's David Craig, they're just not making the big play which they did so well in the past.
And this is 2 games in a row they've not been making the big play.
Let's make sure you get your 10 yards. He's going to Lodge it.
Tipped incomplete. Dan Dornick, the intended receiver, tipped by Art Still, and the Chiefs take over on down.
That 6'7" fella to throw the ball over. It's not easy.
Kansas City 1st down at their own 25. Now, who is number 83? Stephon Page, the wide receiver.
66 career catches coming into this game. 46 of them made the 3rd down completion. And, no, I'm sorry, 46 on 3rd down, 42 times he got it. Average yards needed 8.4, average made 17.6.
He's a backup
receiver.
Backup, though. Backup wide receiver to Carlos Carson, who's out with a problem, a sprained left knee. And Stephon Page has 2 touchdowns in the ballgame. Play action going deep to Marshall. Incomplete. Henry Marshall, the intended receiver. Dave Brown had the coverage.
There's 89, Henry Marshall, and if you had any thoughts about John Makovic sitting on the ball, he certainly put those away, trying to go deep on 1st down to Henry Marshall.
I think that was another show me play, Sam. I think it was just to get him concerned, you know, so they can get something going a little bit underneath. Brown had good cover. That's one thing Brown can do, run with a guy like Marshall on a wet field.
And there is number 83, Stephon Page, 6'1", 176 pounds. Fresno State has got it. Herman Hurd, and he is dropped by Jacob Green.
Both offenses now look like the tango. 1, 2, 3 kick. No one's really doing anything. And of course, Kansas City is in a perfect position because the clock is running and they have a 28-0 lead.
Moving on the 3-minute mark. Time remaining 3rd quarter. Loss of a yard. 3rd down and 11. Chiefs ball at their own 24-yard line. Kansas City on top of Seattle, 28-0.
And this will be a very conservative call on 3rd down and 11.
Kansas City with 2 fumble recoveries and 3 interceptions. And 3 of the 5 turnovers leading to touchdown. They put only 1 drive together, but it was a good one, 87 yards in 7 plays. Tipped again. Kenny Easley with the interception. Easley to the 30. Easley cuts back. Flag is down.
He got a clip, and it looks like he's going to score a touchdown.
Easley to the 10. End zone. They'll bring it back. 41 yards on the interception returned by Kenny Easley, but if there was a clip at the 25, he'll have it back at the 41-yard line.
And it looks like it's going to sit right there on the 25-yard line with a clip.
I think you've seen the end of Kansas City's wide-open offense. I think on a cold day like this...
Holding on number 41, 10-yard penalty from right there.
That's Eugene Robinson, another rookie mistake.
I was going to say, on a cold day like this, throwing those high passes off fingertips when you've got a 28-point lead, it doesn't make much sense.
Eugene Robinson is number 41. There's Kenny Easley. There's Robinson, number 41, right there. Let's take a look at it. It doesn't look like he clipped him.
No, but it was holding. It was holding.
Holding.
Holding was the call. So
Hugging.
he hooked him underneath.
He hugged him.
And Kenny Easley was exchanging a few words, and his teammates separated him. team.
There he is. He goes right down to the ground, hugs him right to the ground. Now, you can do that to your wife, Eugene, but not to defensive backs.
Kansas City 35, going deep, double coverage, tip, caught. Daryl Turner, touchdown, Seattle.
I think what happened there, Ross slipped. Around the 10-yard line, Ross slipped. Cherry could get there to tip the ball, but Turner caught it at the end.
Well, Seattle, I believe, right now is back in the ball game. It wasn't very artistic, but they got on the board. Now what they have to do is continue to play that kind of defense and get the ball back, because the biggest thing they're fighting right now is the clock.
2 minutes, 2:20 left to go, third quarter. And that was Craig to Turner, because he tipped it and then caught it. Little tongue twister, extra point upcoming. By Norm Johnson. Ooh, that was close, but he did make it. Just easing it by on the right side. And here it is, Turner to Turner.
That's Turner now making the play. Now, as I said, it wasn't very artistic, but it was important for Seattle to get some points on the board, now get back on track. Because they have a chance. They're a team, offensively and defensively, who can make plays.
And they capitalized on the turnover. They finally got the turnover with Easley's interception. And even with the penalty that brought it back, boom, they're in. That's what they do so well, but they haven't done it until this point in this ballgame. 28-7, Kansas City leading. And Norm Johnson will be kicking off.
Actually, Paul, Seattle's defense really is not playing very poorly.
No.
Seattle's defense really has done a good job.
Except that they had one streak where the secondary guys really looked like they were losing.
Had some lapses,
losing
right.
control.
Yeah, particularly the penalty in the end zone on Terry Taylor.
But you know, they're proud veterans. They're great players. They got themselves together and got back.
I think they can get back in this game. I think they can get back in this game. Just get on the board now with at least 10 or 12 minutes to go, and they have a chance.
I think so, assuming that Kansas City dies on offense.
Norm Johnson kicking off. Jeff Smith takes it on the run. Almost breaks it. He returns to the 34-yard line. As the pennant races go down to the wire, NBC Sports will be there. Time and games to be shown will be determined by the standings. So just kind of stay with us and be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area. The race for the pennant on NBC. Sam Merriman on the special teams for the Seattle Seahawks. So Kansas City goes to work. This time at their own 34-yard line, first down.
I think you're going to see a lot of activity on the defense of Seattle. They got to force mistakes.
But now they have Ethan Horton and E.J. Jones as the two running backs, and here's Horton. Horton, their #1 draft choice from North Carolina, to the 37-yard line. He's got 3. It'll be second down and 7. Keith Butler with the tackle. Imagine Kansas City wants to use some of that clock now.
Right now they want to bleed the clock. They want to make sure now that they got that going for them. They don't want to turn the ball over. But by the same token, you cannot forget how you got there. You can't lose your aggressiveness on offense, because that's basically John Makovich's philosophy.
Second down and 7. Kenny sets up. He's in trouble. Throws. They'll rule it incomplete. E.J. Jones, intended receiver, did not hold on. Bruce Schultz was there for the Seahawks. It'll be third down and 7. Stops the clock. 1:27 left to go in the third.
It looks like Kansas City's offense now is a little out of sync. They don't seem to be getting anything going.
You saw the difference in the two quarterbacks there. Craig would have scrambled away from that. He probably would have run for 7 or 8 yards. Kenny didn't figure he could get away from Robbins, so he dumped the ball off to the back who was covered.
Third down and 7.
Big play. Big play.
Here comes Easley, delayed blitz.
Pressure, pressure.
Oh, that could have been an interception.
Going for the interception was Greg Gaines. Page the intended receiver. It will be fourth down and 7. And that means that Jim Arnold will be kicking, and Bill Kenny shaken up. Very gingerly, he's coming to the sideline. As Kenny Easley with a delayed blitz that Paul was talking about.
Kenny Easley's coming from the top of the screen, number 45, on the backside. Nobody picks him up.
Right up the chute.
And there it is, right up the chute, and he takes the shot right on the arm in the grasp of number 77, Jeff Bryant.
Easley steps away from it. It is covered at the 30. 34 yards on the kick. Kansas City is claiming that it hit the foot of Kenny Easley. Officials say no, he got back. It was down at the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you, those punt returners are in a state of shock. Green fumbled 2, Easley fumbled 1. They're afraid to do anything now.
That's Kenny Easley right now. He wisely backs away from it. It hits the ground. Foot. Don't tell me this is not a game of inches. Now Kenley does the best thing right there. He starts to officiate, and they get the best turn.
He looked like he saw a mouse.
Seattle from their own 30-yard line. First down. 28-7. Seattle trail. Craig throws. It's dropped. Kurt Warner turned and started to run before he had the ball.
He had first down too, Charlie. He had a first down. He would have picked up yardage up past the 40-yard line.
They have their second line in there now.
Warner just moved too quickly. He should have caught the ball first and then taken off. His hands and feet were not in sync.
Second down.
When you think about it, Kurt Warner really hasn't been in this game. I mean, they've taken him out of the offense.
With time, steps forward, throws to Warner. This time he holds on, has 5 yards, maybe 6. Let's call it the 36. It'll be third down and 4. Kurt Warner receiving has now a total of only 6 yards. He has 55 yards rushing. That's total offense of 61 yards. You said he was a big key if Seattle was to win.
And I think the problem with that right now is you look at the sideline of Kansas City, Todd Blackledge, because Kinney was hurt. I think getting back to that, he's out of the game because of the score. Seattle has not been able to do what they planned, what they intended to do prior to the game.
That's right. He's looking right.
Third down and 4, throwing back underneath. Largent holds on, and Steve has the first down at the 42-yard line. Sherman Cocroft was there to cover him. First down. And even when Seattle makes the first down, as time counts down to the third, it seems to be a struggle. That's the end of the third. The score, Kansas City 28, Seattle 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Injury report on Bill Kenny. Has an injured right shoulder. Could return, but not now. When the Chiefs move on offense, Todd Blackledge will be there. Seattle first down, their own 42-yard line. And the rains continue. Greg going deep.
That's an interception.
Deron Cherry has his third interception. A flag is down. I think Greg's just having, I think on that, the ball slipping. It's been raining, it's raining, it's raining. His hands are wet. The ball, they try and keep it dry. He just couldn't get any power.
It was an underthrow right into coverage.
Yeah.
Play action pass. Now Craig turns to go to Darrell Turner. He doesn't even try to find Deron Cherry. I agree with you. I don't think he had very much on the ball. Now watch 81. You can tell by 81 how short it is. He has to stop, and there's 20 now. Goes right into play, and 81 was grabbing the shirt, and that's where the penalty was. But David Craig is not watching Cherry. It's not important to watch the offensive players. He has to look at where that free safety is.
City 23-yard line. First down. Todd Blackledge, the quarterback now for the Chiefs. His first appearance in the ball game. Horton, the ball carrier, and a flag is dropped. Is that right?
They have Alton Baldinger in there now, Charlie, and this is where the problems happen on offense.
That's changes in that offensive line. Alt replacing Herkenhardt at left tackle. Baldinger replacing Olderman at right guard. Fred Young with that last tackle. Now defensively for the Chiefs, 4 interceptions. Deron Cherry has 3 of them. Greg Hill has the other. 53. In addition, the Chiefs have 2 fumble recoveries. So they have 6 takeaways from the Seahawks.
Deron Cherry's first time as a pro where he's had 3 interceptions in one game.
The penalty takes the ball back to the 13, so it's First down and 20. Blackledge at quarterback, replacing Bill Kenny, who has an injured right shoulder. E.J. Jones gets the call. 17-yard line, gain of 4. Green and Nash for the defense.
The other day, Charlie, I asked Kenny how they could have gotten beaten by Miami so badly and how they got beaten by Seattle so badly last year, and he said he was banged up and he just wasn't throwing with the velocity. And when he's something a little wrong with the ball that he's throwing, the defensive backs can clamp on it quicker, and that's when the big problems come. So I think when they have to throw, it makes more sense having Blackledge in there.
Ethan Horton from Carolina, University of North Carolina, and John Makovic talked about that yesterday. He is the person that has to get back, has to get into their offense to give them that good running game. Watch him on a handoff now. He's big, he's 6'3". He's evidently got good speed, goes to the outside, cuts up inside number 20, Terry Taylor, and now number 50, Fred Young, has to make the tackle.
Terry Taylor is hurt, and that's going to be a big loss for them. He's a very good cornerback, aggressive. But I think Horton kicked him as he went by, and they're helping him off.
And it will be a first down as Taylor is being helped from the field.
It looks like he's pointing to his left ankle or his left Achilles right there. It's certainly in the lower part of his leg. Let's hope it's not too serious, because I agree with Paul. He's an integral part of their defense at the corner, but they do have #1 draft choice Keith Simpson, who Terry Taylor beat out this year to go in his place.
The ball at the Kansas City 34-yard line. It'll be first down with 13:25 time remaining in the game. The Chiefs have not had a running back to rush more than 100 yards in the last 44 games.
The last one was Billy Jackson, the end of the '81 season.
And they're not going to have one today either, unless somebody really breaks a big one.
We go to 45 on that graphic.
Herman Hurd has 26 yards rushing. He's the leading rusher for Kansas City. And Horton will lose a couple of yards back to the 32. Bruce Schultz was there. It'll be second down and 12.
I'll tell you, in this offense now, I think they're going to have to take volunteers for who's going to carry the ball.
It's certainly obvious what they're going to do with the ball. And right now, they're really in the driver's seat, because Seattle has to have the ball, and what they want to do just is really kind of go to an offense where they're going to bleed the clock.
You know, it'd be nice to say that it looks like Seattle's going to come back, but in order for that to happen, the Chiefs' defense has to come apart, and the secondary is playing too well.
And I think David Craig has helped that.
Second and 12. Horton in motion. Blackledge throws, and it sails on.
Safe pass. He was covered, and he threw it away.
So it'll be third down and 12. Horton, the intended receiver, easily for the defense. Blackledge last year against Seattle played in both ball games. In the first game, 8 of 17 for 54 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. In the second game, played here at Arrowhead Stadium, 1 for 1. He was in as a mop-up. The end of the ball game, completed 1 of 1 for 13.
And you don't want an interception right now. An interception right now would put Seattle right back in this ball game. You want to be very careful in this situation, and I think they're going to run the ball.
Third down and 12.
Draw play and let Arnold hang it for 4-point.
Going to the back.
Over the middle.
Oh, he's strangled.
Horton, the intended receiver. Was that Greg Gaines?
Yeah.
Gaines had him in a lock. A flag was dropped.
Now, one official was right on it, and he makes no call. The other one comes all the way from the far sideline, running in, making the call on that. Of course, he had the back to it.
Blackledge is dropping back, and 32 is circling to the inside. Blackledge is waiting. Apparently he was.
Now there's the official right near him, makes no call.
There's the official right there, Greg Gaines,
and
number 56.
Horton's begging him. Now he turns to the other official and says, well, you won't call it. How about you? And see, I'll call it. Give me a break.
5-yard penalty, and that's the first down.
Call on Greg Gaines.
somewhere there's got to be a friendly official.
Third quarter, New England out in front of the Raiders, 20-14. Fourth quarter, Chicago leading Washington. Ooh, look at this. Look at this in the fourth. Dallas and Houston tied. Giants, Philadelphia tied. St. Louis in front of Green Bay. Detroit in front of Tampa Bay. Minnesota 20, Buffalo 13. First down. E.J. Jones. Second and 10, maybe a yard. And the clock continues to move. 11:46 and counting in the fourth.
I think what you're going to see is if this continues, the defense is going to start slapping at the ball, and they're going to get a little reckless, and you're going to see a runner break one.
Official spotted at the 39, so that means it's second down and 8. Baseball scores. Mets 6, Pittsburgh 3, 6 inning.
3 field goals.
St. Louis 5, Montreal 4. Second and 8.
In a blitz.
Oh, no.
John Harris going for the ball. And Seattle has the interception, but at their own, they're going to mark it, what, 23-yard line?
That's just the fans are booing, and they
Same as
should.
a punt, though, right?
That's just no. Punt is on fourth down. That was on second.
No, I mean the same distance, the same result.
Well,
Blackledge is dropping back now.
I think that was a crazy call. Ridiculous.
I don't like the call, and he throws it up for grabs. And the one thing you don't want to do right now is give Seattle any kind of a chance to get back in this ball game.
I still think that it's the same as a punt. New quarterback. Here's Gail Gilbert, rookie free agent from California.
That's interesting right now, putting Gilbert in the ball game.
I think he's either given up on it or Craig is banged up or he's in shock.
There's pressure. He drops it off to Hughes, incomplete. Second down and 10.
Gail Gilbert is not going to bring him back with 11 seconds left.
Well, why do you think they made the change, Paul?
Craig must be either banged up or just in a state of disarray. It's so bad that his coordinator is saying, look, settle this guy down. He can't play right now.
If he's in a state of disarray, this is kind of a very difficult situation with Dave Craig right now not being in sync for the last couple of weeks.
I think Chuck Knox has made a big mistake by shorting himself on a backup quarterback. The only person behind Craig is a rookie free agent. You're a championship level team. That doesn't make sense.
You think it would have been better for him to have Jim Zorn here now rather than Green Bay?
No, Zorn couldn't play for him. But he was looking at Bobby Aber and Warren Moon last year. Now look at that coach.
Incomplete.
That thing came down with the nose up.
Turner, the intended receiver. Greg Hill for the defense. Third down and 10. Seahawks ball at their own 24.
This is a tough situation for a quarterback, particularly with the score, with the conditions and the way things are going. And there's Chuck Knox right now. He's talking to the official, but he has to be really frustrated because his team really hasn't played very well in the last 2 ball games.
Well, you know, the Kansas City offense hasn't done anything either. They got about a half a drive and then sat on the ball, and they don't have to because Seattle's doing it all for them.
Seattle with 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, but Kansas City with 4 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. Third down and 10. Gilbert. Far side. 40-yard line. Byron Walker scooped it up at the 40, a gain of 16 and a first down.
Good throw by this young quarterback and a nice call. There's Gilbert in the pocket right now. He drops back. He's taking a look at Byron Walker, number 89, sets and throws, and that ball is thrown very well. Byron Walker goes down, cradles the ball, stays in bounds, and it's a good call and an important first down for Seattle.
Seahawks at their own 40-yard line.
Craig's not banged up. I see him on the bench standing there watching, or on the sidelines.
Gilbert gives off to number 43. That's Randall Morris. 2 flags are down. Morris picked up 4, maybe 5 yards, but there were markers on the play.
You know, you've got Warner out of the game. You've got their best offensive lineman, Essink, out of the game. I don't know whether he's hurt. Millard is playing the left tackle now.
David Craig is on the sideline
Craig
now,
is saying,
talking
"Get me
to Chick.
back in."
He's talking to Chick Harris. And there's Ben Dreith right now.
61 is holding on the offense.
Holding on Robert Pratt. Ron Essink is out of the ball game in that offensive line for the Seahawks with a groin injury. And Brian Millard has replaced him. His backup. Millard backs up at both tackles.
And Millard did a good job while Kreider was hurt in the first 2 ball games.
First down and 20. The ball at the 30-yard line. Fumble, he drops it. Gilbert drops it and then falls on it.
He lost concentration. He needs to, in the shotgun, catch the ball first. I think he was looking upfield and he took his eyes off the ball, and that's why he fumbled it. There's Gail Gilbert, number 7.
You know, I think the Seahawks might lose this battle, but they might win the war. Because on the plane home, Chuck's coordinator might say to him, look, Gale's a nice boy, but we need a backup quarterback, and they might go out and get a veteran. In case something like this happens again, they're fortified.
And there's Chick Harris on the sideline with the cap. He's the one who sends the signals in, and the running back coach for Seattle.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 25. At the 25. Kansas City leads it 28-7. Gilbert throws, incomplete. Just run down some quick scores for the Raiders. Now lead New England 21-20. Chicago leading Washington 38-10. Dallas and Houston still tied at 10-10. Giants in front of Philly 10-3. St. Louis 33, Green Bay 7. Detroit leading Tampa Bay 23-9. Minnesota leading Buffalo 20-13. Just kind of a quick update for you. And here's Kansas City 28, Seattle 7. Next week, Seattle will host high-flying San Diego, and Kansas City will be in Los Angeles against the Raiders. 3rd and 25.
Going to be an interception. Deron Cherry just dropped the possibility of his 4th interception.
Really makes no difference. He would have intercepted it about the spot where a punt would be.
I think it does to Cherry, though.
It's to his contract.
I don't think Deron Cherry would like that.
You know, I neglected that aspect of it.
Yeah, the ball goes up, launches the receiver. Cherry steps up to the inside, has both hands on it, and misses it.
So Jimmy Colquitt will be in punt formation, and Garcia Lane is the return man for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think today Cherry has been the return man. He looks like the punt returner.
That's a returner.
And Garcia Lane's returns just across the 45, 38 yards of the kick, a 7-yard return. We'll be back in a moment. The Chiefs lead at 28-7. Kansas City leading Seattle 28-7 with 9:29 to go in the ball game. As Ethan Horton, the ball carrier, Chiefs have the ball at their own 46-yard line, and we'll call it for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Baseball score: Cardinals leading, and in the football, the Raiders by 1. Chicago on top in the 4th. Dallas and Houston tied in the 4th. Giants leading in the 4th. St. Louis in front. Detroit in front. And Minnesota leading Buffalo 2013. 2nd and 10, Kansas City, their own 46. Horton with E.J. Jones, the lead blocker, and maybe a yard. It will mark it the 47. That's going to be about all. Now today, Chiefs Alumni Day, and Willie Lanier entered in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. His name placed on the Hall of Fame ring. The ring here around Arrowhead Stadium. And some of the other names: the great E.J. Hollop, Jim Tyre, Jerry Mays, Otis Taylor, Ed Urbanus, Mackley Hill, Johnny Robinson, Buck Buchanan, who we visited with a little bit at halftime just to say hello, Chris Burford, Mike Garrett. And the next one over is Lynn Dawson. 3rd and 9. Blackledge tipped.
That's intercepted by Keith Butler.
Did he intercept it, or did he short hop it?
I think he intercepted it.
Did he get it? He got it.
You know, it's gotten to the point where every time they throw the ball, something disastrous happens.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder, you know, we've seen that with the ball thrown on both sides. These weather conditions just haven't gotten to that kind of a, you know, to a saturation point of water. Lockledge 0 for 3 on a pair of interceptions.
He's trying to get the ball to the back, but it was tipped on the line of scrimmage, and Keith Buffalo, number 53, makes the play. It was tipped by a defensive lineman on the line of scrimmage.
It was Bruce Schultz, 6'6" linebacker.
Yes, Blackledge up. It's touched by Bruce Schultz, number 58, the linebacker, and Keith Buffalo, 53, makes the interception.
And here's Gail Gilbert. Both clubs going with their backup quarterback, going to Turner. Good throw, but incomplete. Not a bad throw in all the water and the rain and everything else that's going on.
And they're complaining now because Darrell Turner did a good job of preventing number 31, Kevin Ross, from making that interception.
Gilbert has completed 1 of 6 for 16 yards.
You know, you have to, looking at the long-range picture, you have to wonder what is the future of this quarterback situation. He gave up on Craig very early in the second, you know, in the fourth quarter. He came in with Gilbert, and who doesn't look like he has a prayer of bringing this game back. I mean, what is their situation? They're a championship-level team.
Well, right now, I'm sure that David Craig is having a lot of problems trying to figure out what's going on.
Second and 10. Blitz is on, drops it out to David Hughes. Hughes will be a yard shy of the first down. Spaney with the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 1. The clock continues to move. That is the time remaining in the game. Kansas City 28, Seattle 7. Moving on the 7-minute mark.
I think one of the things that has hurt Charlie with the interceptions is both quarterbacks, particularly Gilbert, coming in late now, is trying to throw deep. And I think Craig tried to throw deep too much with the weather conditions that where they were. And apparently he threw a lot of balls much too short.
Gilbert tries to slide for the first down. They mark him out at the 42. Now he needed a yard. It depends now on where they spot the ball. Pete Koch was chasing him because the chains, the official chain, that's only a marker on the other side. The chains are on this side of the field.
They're going to give him the first down.
42-yard line, first down.
You know, they had a story in one of the Kansas City papers this morning about how Kenny, by qualifying with enough attempts, is now the 10th leading rated passer of all time. But if you take Craig's lifetime rating, it's 87.9, which would make him 2nd leading if he had enough attempts. You know, he's been a very productive passer for the years.
Dale Gilbert replacing Dave Craig in the 4th quarter. Target tight end Charlie Young. He caught it at the 35. So they'll give him 7 yards. Jerry Blanton was there, the linebacker for Kansas City.
Well, what Kansas City wants to do defensively right now is allow you to catch all the passes in the middle of the field, because what's going on right now, as we've said time and time again, the clock is running. It's down to less than 7 minutes, and Seattle needs 3 scores to get back in the game.
I think if you trade 30 seconds for 7 yards, it's worth it.
Minnesota and Buffalo tied in the 4th. Gilbert tied in again. Charlie Young pulls it down. Inside the 30, it'll be a first down. Blanton again with the coverage and the tackle for Kansas City. Mark it at the 28-yard line, so a gain of 7 and a first down. And the clock continues on its inexorable march.
Well, if they get a touchdown, Kansas City's got to get all the good hands people, because they're going to be in a position to field an onside kick. He's going to Turner, and it's going to be intercepted.
There's Cherry, tipped, incomplete.
Almost intercepted by Cherry. He had one hand on the ball.
Look at that smile. He wants him to throw at that corner. Said, I got the hot hand.
There's the Seattle coaches right now. There's Kenny Meyer with the glasses on, and I'm sure they're frustrated. And there's Daron Cherry now. Now, there's Turner going to the outside. Kevin Ross is 31. Now Cherry just has to play the quarterback in the ball, and he's right there to get that other hand over there. It should have been an interception.
Daron Cherry, you know, is a great story. I'll get to it later, but he's really a fine free safety.
Free agent, too.
Yeah.
The pass is complete to Randall Morris, and he's brought down by Calvin Daniels. Give me the story so we don't forget it.
Deron Cherry came into camp as a punter. He was a free agent from Rutgers, and that's all he was a punter. And he begged defensive coaches to look at him as a safety man, and they finally listed him as a punter / strong safety. And then finally they saw him covering, and they said, this guy can play. And he made it as a free safety.
That goes to show you, Paul.
He was going to be cut. Huh?
That goes to show you that no one has all the answers in this league when you're judging talent.
Right. And for Kansas City coming into the ball game, their leading tackler. 3 interceptions in this game. This one is dropped off to Dan Dornick. And Gary Spaney makes the tackle. 15-yard line gain of 7. It'll be a first down. And of course, Dornick, a story that a lot of people have heard about. You know, he's in medical school and may graduate in the spring, or it may be later, depending on whether or not the Seahawks move to the playoffs. Dr. Dan. Well, I don't know how he gets it all done with his schedule is just unbelievable.
There he is on the sideline now. Apparently he seems to be okay.
He's an exceptional young man. Truly is. Gilbert drops. David Hughes incomplete. Stops the clock. Second down and 10. The ball at the 16-yard line.
There's David Hughes, 46, who dropped the pass. Kansas City right now is covering everything deep, and Gilbert is laying the ball off, and that's exactly what Kansas City wants them to do, because again, they're killing the clock.
Gilbert has completed 6 of 13 for 51 yards. And defensive changes for Kansas City. Second and 10.
3 new linemen.
Throw the ball in the end zone. You got to get the ball in the end zone.
Incomplete. Byron Walker, the intended receiver. Kevin Ross was there. It'll be third down and 10. Gilbert looking to the sidelines. Of course, the play signaled in from the sideline.
You know, Sam, you wonder what the complexion of this game would have been if it were on a dry field in perfect conditions. How much the conditions really bothered Seattle.
Well, I think the conditions had a factor, but I really think that Seattle has made some mistakes, and they really haven't done the job they planned to do offensively. I think Kansas City would have done the same thing under good field conditions.
This is Seattle's 53rd pass attempt. Franklin, 5-yard line. Craig threw 38 times, and now Gilbert has thrown 15 times.
That's not a Chuck Knox offense, throwing the ball over 50 times in the game.
And it'll be first down, goal to go. And the ball right at the 5-yard line.
You know, Gilbert's going to have a great percentage completion record on this and a good rating, and those ratings being based on completion. But it really is so meaningless in a situation like that.
Well, what he did right now is like Dean Smith's 4-corner offense in Kansas City. They're killing the clock.
First down, goal to go, 5-yard line. Oh, look at Durancher. So the tip I got by me too soon. Dornick, the intended receiver.
Deron Cherry could have almost intercepted 5 or 6 passes today. See, there's Gilbert right now, and he's forcing the ball. He sees Dornick coming over the middle, and there's a herd of red jerseys right in the middle of that whole pack. And Gail Gilbert is a young quarterback, and he forced the ball. And there's Deron Cherry, who's been attached to the ball all day long.
And so far in this drive, the Seahawks have used 4 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock. 3:10 left of the game.
Looking to go the logic. Going in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Lewis came over to double him. He had him on the fade, pump faked him, took him inside, and then he saw Lewis coming from the inside at the end and threw it away. And then Ross and Lewis are shaking hands now. They should.
It'll be third down, goal to go. 6-inning score, Minnesota 4, Kansas City 3. Seattle again Los Angeles. Turner. No. Out of the end zone.
That was the highest fade pass I've ever seen. That thing came down with snow on it.
And it would have been okay, Paul, had he thrown the ball to the outside.
Maybe he came down with snow from Denver.
Gilbert goes up, he throws the ball. It should be to the outside, and watch the ball bend him back to the inside. He makes a nice catch, but apparently he's out of bounds.
He could have called for a fair catch on that one.
Now watch Gilbert right now. Kansas City's happy because the ball was thrown so high, it killed the clock. It took off about 3 minutes.
Could have called for a fair catch.
Second half of the doubleheader, most of you will see Miami at Denver. We understand they had 4 inches of snow.
Fourth down.
Fourth down, goal to go. Intercepted in the end zone. Ron Cherry.
They picked up 15 yards on that one.
Interception number 4.
You know, Charlie, I talked to Duron Cherry yesterday, and he told me he was going to be in the middle for the ball or for the receivers, and apparently he's done that today. There's Gilbert going to the outside now, looking for someone open in the end zone. He forces the ball, and there's Cherry right in the middle where he belongs. Tried to get the ball to Turner 81, and it's another interception.
Kansas City from their own 20-yard line. First down. And here's E.J. Jones. He'll pick up just a couple. Let's make it 3.
Somebody ran out of a shoe. There's a shoe lying there on the 21-yard line. There he is, putting it on.
Watch Byron Franklin, a corner of the end zone, number 88. I'm open. I'm open. Please get me the ball. He looks like a traffic cop. I'm open. I won't be here very often in that situation.
You know, we can see it here, but when a quarterback is looking at one side of the field, he really can't see the other. It's almost unfair in a way.
Again, Byron Franklin really doesn't care about that.
That's right.
Ball.
Ethan Horton. He gets 3 minutes more, 3 yards more. 2-minute warning given to both benches. We'll take a timeout. It's Kansas City 28 and Seattle 7. Record, Bobby Hunt and Bobby Ply also had 4 interceptions in one ball game, and we understand that also ties an NFL single game record. Pharaoh Chiefs.
It's not over yet. He could get a 5th.
That's an optimistic outlook.
Well, just let him roam back there.
3rd down and 4. There's Gayle Gilbert. Free agent. Rookie. University of California, Berkeley.
He's getting a lot of coaching right now. That's Chick Harris with the hat on talking to Gayle Gilbert. That's Chuck Knox to Gilbert's left. And right now, that's not a happy sideline.
I think they might be on the phone to Ron Jaworski in Philadelphia.
And interestingly enough, coming into this game, the Seattle Seahawks with 101 points were the NFL's highest scoring offense. 3rd down and 4 for Kansas City, their own 26-yard line. 2 minutes left in the contest. Horton on a sweep to the left side, and he'll come up shy of the 1st down. He'll pick up about 3. It'll be 4th down as Reggie Kinlaw, now the nose tackle for the Seahawks, makes the stop, and Seattle stops the clock. So that means that Jim Arnold will come in to punt. And we'll look for Kenny Easley to make the return, but first, we'll take a timeout. Here's Jim Arnold, his 9th punt. He has pressure, but he gets it off. Kenny Easley will let it bounce, and he'll step away from it. It'll be down at the 35-yard line. Now, Jim Arnold, that was a 36-yard punt. His 9th punt of this ball game, and 6 of the 9 have had a hang time of more than 4 seconds, which is excellent.
And this conditions, it's wonderful.
Oh,
He's sort of an unsung hero in this game.
And he had that 62-yarder at a very crucial time. So his average now right around the 42-yard mark. Seattle from their own 35-yard line, 1st down, minute 40. Time remaining in the ball game.
Duron Cherry saying, "Don't take me out. I want number 5."
Gilbert from the shotgun. Drops this one off to David Hughes. Hughes has the keeps going. leaving tacklers in his wake to the Kansas City 46-yard line. He has 19 yards and the first down.
That helps the stats and contract talks next year.
Cynical, Paul. Cynical remark. Gilbert, it is high, it is incomplete. Franklin, the intended receiver. It'll be second down and 10 at the Kansas City 46. 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go here at Arrowhead Stadium. It's been raining all morning. It rained all last night, and it has not let up.
And there's Chuck Knox on the sideline. And, you know, being a coach, you always say to yourself, well, there are going to be days like this. But I think this is a very resourceful football team. And Chuck Knox is an outstanding coach. And he'll put it all back together, and they'll bounce back next week.
Now final, Detroit winning.
Lodgett.
Incomplete. But what about Kansas City? Kansas City, they're now 3-1.
And they've beaten the Raiders, and they've beaten Seattle, 2 teams in their division. So they're in very good shape right now. But Charlie, it's a long, long year, and a lot of things are going to happen.
All right, now listen. Now you said a long, long year for a team that's 3-1. Well, it's a long, long year for a team, Seattle, that'll be 2-2, so they've got a chance to get back into it.
Without question. Without question.
I wonder if Chuck Knox is going to be calling up Jaworski, who was once his quarterback of the Rams.
Are you representing him?
I don't know. I'm sort of intrigued with that idea.
It may work.
Run the ball.
Off and running.
No, you slide feet first. If you slide feet first in the new rules, they're not going to, you know, to touch you. And the other thing, if you're a rookie, you forget about going out of bounds. Should have gotten out of bounds, stop the clock.
I think it's a smart move. Get the game over with, so nobody can get hurt.
Maybe that was a signal from the sideline.
I think that may be the right one.
They were trying to push him back in.
Before the broadcast ends, Paul, are you really Ron Jaworski's agent? I saw an envelope in your jacket with his address on it.
Who do you think sent me the flowers?
Fourth down and 3.
Now go slide.
There's the first down. Now slide. It's a first down, and the Seahawks are going to take a timeout with 3 seconds left to go. So we'll take a timeout. The score, Kansas City 28. Years to go, but San Francisco. You like that call on the timeout.
Well, that happened to me once before, and we were out of the game against San Diego, and Brian Sipe came up to me on the sideline. He said, Coach, that's the way to go, because it's a matter of pride. He's throwing up in the end zone. It looks like a punt.
They're going to rule it incomplete. The gun sounds, and that is it in the rain. The final, the Kansas City Chiefs 28, the Seattle Seahawks 7. So Kansas City's record now is 3-1. Seattle's record is 2-2. It did not rain on the